Hey everyone, welcome to FanFic Canon. Thanks for hitting play. I'm thrilled to bring this fan-made story to life for you. If you enjoy the ride and want more narrated fanfics, smash, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss an episode. And if you want audiobook of a novel of your choice, join my Patreon. Request any title that's freely available online, and I'll produce a full narration just for you. Now, let's dive into today's adventure.
When everyone returned to the Avengers base, everyone felt relaxed. This war is very difficult for them. Once they fail, almost no one can survive. But they still won, which means everything they did was very meaningful. Fury and Captain America were discussing the general direction of what the Avengers base would do in the future, and Vision and Quicksilver also began to officially join the Avengers. Black Widow is dealing with this matter. After becoming an Avenger, all their information must be clear, which is only available in the Avengers base. The meaning of this is to prevent others from discovering the existence of these Avengers. The most important thing is that there is no information, which means that it is very convenient to do many things. Everyone was busy at this time, and Bruce went directly back to his room. He sat on the bed, a thoughtful look on his face. This time, the plot of Avengers 2 is almost entirely dominated by him. Both Ultron and the Avengers are pawns in his hands. If it weren't for the purpose of promoting the plot, Bruce could even completely transform the subsequent plot. It can be said that Bruce has completely controlled his own destiny. Especially this battle, Bruce gained a lot. Whether it's the abilities downloaded from Vision or the energy value he gained, almost all of them greatly increased his strength. This is what he needs. Afterwards, Bruce directly opened his attribute panel to check his current abilities. Name: Bruce. Identity: Level 6 Agent. Abilities: Catastrophic God of War Body, Bloodline of God, Combat Skills of God, Power of Thunder and Lightning, Body Deformation, High-Speed Movement, Spider Sense, Human Shield Integration. Warehouse: Super Vibranium Shield, Mark 8 Armor. Balance: $2 million. Energy value, 8,500 points, can be used for one-click download, one-click upgrade, one-click fusion, and incomplete ability upgrade. His identity has not changed, because in S.H.I.E.L.D. information, he is still a level 6 agent. Bruce didn't care much about these, especially since his current energy level has reached 8,500 points. This can be said to be Bruce's richest time. At this point, I am very satisfied. When he completed the mission before, he had already gained 8,000 energy points. It's just that when he downloaded Vision's abilities, he used 3,000 points of energy. After this incident, all the Avengers will be separated again for the time being. At this time, there were not many abilities that could attract Bruce. Now, Bruce has only two targets. The first is Scarlet Witch, and the second is Thor. Their abilities are extremely powerful, so no matter what, Bruce must get them. And Soul will leave soon. Bruce must hurry up. Boom! And just when Bruce was deep in thought, there was a knock on the door, which put a trace of doubt in his eyes. In this world, no one should come to him. Come in. Bruce was sitting cross-legged on the bed with an extremely calm expression. At this time, the door was opened. It was Wanda, the Scarlet Witch. Wanda's figure in the clothes in the movie was even more exciting. She was wearing the red dress, looks extremely charming. But for some reason, there is still a hint of shyness on her face. Mr. Bruce, you have worked hard in this battle, Scarlet Witch said. She walked slowly to Bruce's side and put her hands on his shoulders. From the trembling of her hands, Bruce could see that she was very nervous. You did a good job this time, especially with Vision. Bruce looked at Wanda and said, praising him sincerely. After hearing Bruce's praise, the Scarlet Witch's face even blushed. Perhaps because of the difference in education, she quickly restrained her shyness. At this time, Bruce looked at the Scarlet Witch in front of him. To be honest, such a woman would attract people's attention no matter where she went. The perfect look and the sense of mystery that comes with magic. No man don't care. Even Bruce is no exception. What's more, now the Scarlet Witch comes to the door herself. Wanda, do you have something to tell me? Bruce smiled. He gently placed his hands on Scarlet Witch's face, with a hint of light in his black eyes. This move made Scarlet Witch's body tremble. At this moment, she finally stopped struggling and just threw herself on her. Bruce's arms. Bruce felt a suffocating softness reflected on his body, as if he was in a hot spring. Mr. Bruce, I could do anything for you. This is Scarlet Witch's decision now. During the previous battle in Sokovia, she thought she was going to die in every crisis. At that time, what she thought about most was Bruce. That is, Bruce's face, but she had the desire to live. She knew that she seemed to be inseparable from Bruce, so she didn't want to hesitate. This is a Western woman. Once she confirms her feelings, she becomes passionate. She knows that in her heart, as he thought, since he didn't want to let go, he boldly released himself. Of course, Bruce knew how the Scarlet Witch felt now, and there was a smile in his eyes. The two of them looked at each other. The lights slowly dimmed. In the hazy night, I just felt a strange emotion spreading. The whole room had a special smell. Wanda only felt that she was in the sea, and the waves were constantly impacting, which was endless. It was like being paralyzed all over the body. That kind of special power continued to pour into her body. Wanda felt that she was in another world, and this world was full of beauty. Even though this was the first time, she still wanted to be as perfect as possible and not let Bruce feeling disappointed. She didn't like Bruce being disappointed. And Bruce felt this for the first time in this world. In front of him, everything about Wanda was in front of him. This special feeling has always been there last. Until a long time, overnight, the relationship between the two reached another level. It's like breaking through some kind of barrier. Especially Wanda. This night gave her such a wonderful feeling. She looked at Bruce affectionately and couldn't help but get closer to Bruce's body. At this time, after Bruce completed his night of madness, a message belonging to the Scarlet Witch appeared in his mind. Oh, I really survived the catastrophe. Look, my bones are quite strong. Uncle Neo sighed while moving his hands and feet. During this period, I was free, so I went to the back mountain to collect some wood, made a bow and arrow by myself, and practiced sword skills. I never imagined that your archery skills and your sword skills are so powerful. Now, my swordsmanship and archery skills are both at the 3rd level of Huagang cultivation. In addition, I also learned a very powerful sword and archery skills. Bruce, who are you? I think your knowledge should exceed mine. He became more and more confused. He was indeed a rough man, with a simple mind and not good at using his brain. But his opponent was different. He knew a lot and a lot. Sometimes, even his IQ was no one in his 50s can compare to him. At this point, he admires him even more than Uncle Neo. Bruce smiled and said, Uncle Neo, don't say more. Anyway, there will be nothing wrong with you. Good things happen, but I don't want you to hide anything from me. Just say that I, Bruce, have no ill intentions towards them. He doesn't want to implicate anyone, especially Uncle Neo. Well, Chen Xiaobei looked slightly startled. Uncle Neo scratched his hair. You still want me to tell you? Bruce nodded vigorously. Yes. Uncle Neo pondered for a moment, then suddenly sighed and said seriously, Bruce, second brother, this is for you. If you don't want to tell me, I will help him keep the secret. The Yi family will avenge you, but we can't do this. I understand, second brother. Thank you very much. Bruce bowed respectfully. You are the most talented junior I have ever seen in my life. With your talent, you may not be able to break through to gathering chi before the age of 16. Don't be lazy. Uncle Neo patted Bruce on the shoulder, smiling proudly. I know. Regna nodded. Bruce took a deep breath and said, he is 16 years old, which is the 7th level of chi refining stage. In the past 16 years, Bruce has tried his best to train his body and improve himself. His internal strength. Now, his physical body is so powerful that it is comparable to the indestructible body of a diamond. Ordinary battle armor cannot be put on at all. If he meets someone like Yi Ling again, Bruce will also have the strength to fight. The only thing he lacks is the elixir, otherwise he would have beaten the opponent to pieces. However, Bruce ran out of spiritual stones and took 2 marrow-cleansing elixirs, which made his dantian empty. Want to move forward? You need another path. Bruce, I wonder why you came to my place. Uncle Nyo asked. Bruce shook his head and remained silent. He had already made plans in his heart. The Yi family is different from the Yi family. He is not a member of the Yi family, and he will not be influenced by others. The Yi family wants to deal with themselves. Wouldn't it be better if I stay away from the Yi family with my mother and start over? Bruce, have you made plans to leave the Yi family? Yeah, he nodded. He does have this idea. After staying in the Yi family for 14 years, he should become stronger as soon as possible. Otherwise, if the Yi family troubles him, he will not let him go. After hearing this, Uncle Nyo sighed and said, You made the right decision. Although your father left you a large fortune, you don't have to do anything and can live a prosperous life for the rest of your life. But Bruce, you have to remember that no one in this world can be trusted, and the Yi family can never be trusted. Uncle Nyo, thank you for your advice. Bruce nodded, with a serious look on his face. Well, I'll take you back now, etc. Chun Zhao stopped him. Li pulled him and said, Uncle Nyo, I have a question. I wonder how the Yi family members were promoted to the realm of Qi gathering. Uncle Nyo was stunned. Bruce, your cultivation is only at the 3rd level of Qi refining. Why do you say that? Was there an accident that injured your martial arts and caused your cultivation to stagnate? No, Chun Zhao shook his head. Yes. Of course, Bruce can't tell them the truth. Otherwise, I'm afraid Uncle Nyo won't let him go. After all, the Yi family is their 2 families, and they must not offend them. Uncle Nyo, I refined these according to the records in Dragon Control Immortal Technique. Please accept it from Uncle Nyo. In addition, please keep it secret. Uncle Nyo glanced at it. A look of surprise flashed across his face. Bruce, although these secret books are completely different from the Yi family's martial arts, they are extremely advanced martial arts. Li Tay smiled lightly and said, I learned this secret book from Dragon Control Immortal Secret, so its name is Dragon Control Technique. No way. Uncle Nyo, he naturally knew that all of this was Bruce's credit. How could the Yi family's Dragon Control fall into Bruce's hands so easily? Uncle Nyo, I'm not lying. Yulongju was created by me. Uncle Nyo suddenly understood, and a smile appeared on his face. I understand. This book, Dragon Control, was written by Yi Zhantian, the ancestor of the Yi family. It is said that his cultivation has reached the peak of the 9th level of innateness and is the best in the world. One of the top strong men, but he never married and had no children. Therefore, this martial arts secret book has been stored here. Among the direct children of the Yi family, apart from the head of the family, only Yi Hu and Yi Bao can practice it. However, the cultivation level of both of them is very low. At most, they are at the 8th level of the Qi refining stage. It is almost impossible to break through to a higher realm. Uncle Nyo shook his head and sighed. The Nyo family also has an ancestor who practiced dragon control, but due to his qualifications, he has been stuck at the 3rd level of the Qi refining stage, causing the Nyo family's strength to become weaker and weaker. Uncle Nyo, I remember that the Yi family once had a vein of spirit stone, and it is said that it was mined from there. Bruce suddenly said, I'm going to use these spirit stones to break through to the Qi gathering realm. Uncle Nyo's eyes widened. Bruce, have you lost your mind? This is a vein of spirit stones. There are many spirit stones. You can't even count them, but you still dare to rob them? Yes, I already have a way to solve the problem of not being able to eat spiritual stones. Well, Jiang Chun sighed. I admire your courage very much. But you have to guarantee that a share of the mind's spiritual stones must be given to our Nyo family. Li Tay laughed loudly. Okay, then I'll do as you say. We are all good friends. How could I, Bruce, disappoint you? That's true. Uncle Nyo smiled, regretting that he was greedy, but he didn't refuse. Because of their friendship, they just made a joke. Uncle Nyo took out a sign and handed it to Bruce. From now on, you can enter the Sutra Library at will. This is a keepsake from the deacon of our Sutra Pavilion. Please put it away. If you have any questions, you can bring this sign to shopkeeper Zhao. Good. Wang Yao responded. Bruce was not polite and put the sign away directly. Since you have become a direct descendant of the Yi family and you have no weapons. I won't be polite. This golden sword was given to you by my grandfather. It is not of high grade, so you can make do with it. As for weapons, I'll find you a more powerful one. Uncle Nyo handed a bag to Yi Chong and warned, be careful, don't be discovered. Uncle Nyo, you don't have to worry, I know it well. Good. Bruce nodded and turned back to his residence. When he returned home, it was already dark. The door was closed, and it was dark inside. It was obvious at first glance that his family had rested for a long time. Bruce's heart, a feeling of loss arose. I'm afraid I won't be able to sleep this night. The next day, early morning, after Bruce entered the martial arts training ground, he started operating according to the requirements of Dragon Control Immortal Technique. His body contains a jinshi that far exceeds that of ordinary people, which is why he has made such rapid progress. He estimated that ordinary warriors, no matter how talented they were, would not be able to progress as quickly as he did. A voice sounded. He took a deep breath. He felt an indescribable comfort all over his body, and it seemed that all functions had been greatly improved. This made him very uncomfortable. Untie. Dragon Control Technique is indeed the Yi family's secret technique. It is perfect for tempering the body and increasing its strength. He practiced all the previous 3 realms, and then began to meditate and adjust his breath, Dragon Control Immortal Technique, absorbing all the gains from last night. A large amount of energy condensed in his body, forming a huge vortex. A ray of innate true energy was sucked into it, making it run faster. His face turned red, and his whole body was crackling, as if he was about to burst. He only felt a burning heat in his belly, endless and endless, flowing along the meridians to all parts of his body, nourishing his body, and finally gathered in the Dantian Chi Palace. Boom! There was a loud noise, deafening. It was like a thunder exploding in the sky. A dazzling white light shone out, and Bruce's mind buzzed, and his body was filled with endless energy. What is this concept? Success. Damn it. Chun Xiaobei was speechless for a while. Bruce was extremely excited. He is already a master of the acquired 5th level. Yulong Ju is indeed amazing. Bruce was overjoyed. Bruce's father Yi Batian, although he was only at the 7th level of Qi refining stage, was a well-known strong man among the Yi family. Bruce, on the other hand, broke through to the realm of a warrior in less than half a month. Brother Bruce, you are already an innate master. You are so awesome. Sister Ya, why are you attacking me? Bruce smiled and pushed her aside, wiping the corners of his mouth. Then he noticed that it was his sister, Yi Fei. Hee, brother, why are you ignoring me? Yi Fei curled her lips and said, Okay, you took advantage of me as soon as I entered the house. How could be? Yi Xiao looked dumbfounded. Okay, I want to see if you could take advantage of my mother and my sister. This is not fair. I'm fair to everyone, okay? Bruce looked like he had been greatly wronged. Okay, just be honest with me. This is the earliest rule after Pangu opened up the world, called Chaos, which can control everything and create life. This was created by Pangu, and is also the origin of the universe. As for the origin of this chaos, he looked into the distance and saw a chaotic scene in the distant future. A tall god stood on it, as if supporting a world. Open the sky and prove the truth, the great god Pangu. The monkey was shocked. What a domineering name. How could such a person create something new? When the world first opens, is this the rule for the first opening of the world? No. Yes, opening the sky is the only way to open up the world, but how can the avenues in this world be opened so easily? Monkey, create a world. This is a terrible reason. This is incredible. Bruce suddenly said. Then, the world needs to be destroyed, needs to be nurtured, needs to start all over again. Break and then stand. It means a new starting point. The starting point is the starting point, and the starting point is also the end point. A new starting point is a new starting point. Before the starting point, there is a starting point. This is chaos. The monkey was a little confused when he heard it, but he knew that if such a thing really existed, it would definitely be extremely terrifying and not under the law of heaven. Moreover, it must be stronger. But does he have the qualifications? Bruce chuckled, and a wisp of fire jumped out from his fingers, igniting the entire cave in the blink of an eye. Wisps of flames flowed, illuminating the surrounding area. The next second, the flames dissipated, the entire cave became intact again, and Bruce's figure disappeared from his eyes. Leaving now, Xiaobe grinned and said, "Your name is Monkey King? Huh, do you know who I am?" A figure wearing a red robe and a phoenix crown showed a magnificent appearance. "Mother," she shouted. The monkey was delighted and immediately knelt down. "Mother, you are here. I have been dead for a long time, and only a trace of my soul is left. Since you have become my disciple, I will help you." After saying that, a message sounded in his mind. The art of chaos. The monkey was startled, and then he was overjoyed. This is his memory. Once you have a certain understanding ability, you can understand it. The monkey ran away, but Bruce nodded from a distance. "It seems that you also know. Senior brother, let's go to Enlightenment. With it, we can go directly to heaven." The monkey was very excited. This is the Panga method that created the world. Not even a master taught him such a secret method. "No need. I will teach you the 9 transformations mysterious technique to help you get through this disaster. You first find a quiet place and practice hard, and wait until you break through to the golden elixir." The monkey was stunned. "What's going on?" "Several of your junior sisters are cultivating. I am here to protect them. You should practice well." Oh, the monkey left dejectedly. "What about me? Just stay here." The monkey left without looking back, but he was cursing his stupidity in his heart. He actually forgot the most important thing. But this time, Bruce did not lie. He did send the monkey into Bruce's cave. What the hell is the master doing? At the same time, in Bruce's cave, the monkey's eyes almost bulged out. In Bruce's cave, there was nothing but some stone statues. But this stone statue was himself. It looked like it's like life. "Master, you must not do this." It's a pity. No matter how much he begged for mercy, it was of no avail. The flowers, plants, trees, bricks and tiles in the entire cave, and even the murals hanging on the walls, all turned into stars in the sky, rotating around the monkey. "Senior, save me." The ape let out a painful scream, but no one cared. All this was done by Bruce in order to prevent the monkey from slacking off. Bruce's hall. Bruce is also here. In the main hall, Bruce sat cross-legged. His face was solemn, with a faint aura of calmness and dignity. At this moment, Bruce opened his eyes. He stretched out his 2 thick arms, clenched them into fists, released them, and clenched them into fists again. Once again, the atmosphere in the entire Bruce hall became unstable. In one breath, the entire hall underwent earth-shaking changes. In front of him, there was a man in black. "You came." A familiar voice sounded. The man in black robe sneered. "May I ask, Your Excellency, what is the matter?" Bruce looked at him expressionlessly, stretched out a hand, and a green light gathered in his palm. The green light gathered and turned into a green long sword. Bruce waved the long sword in his hand. Suddenly, the entire hall was buzzing, and the vitality of heaven and earth surged crazily, turning into countless rules, constantly colliding in the void. As for the man in black, he looked surprised. He could feel that this green sword was anything but ordinary. "What are you doing?" The man in black looked wary. "You don't want to attack me, do you? You're just a fairy. I'm not qualified to kill you." Boom! There was a loud noise, deafening. As soon as these words came out, a flash of sword light flashed. With just one knife, the man in black was suppressed on the ground. The man in black was shocked. "You are so brave. I am the Jade Emperor of Heaven. I am the Lord of Heaven." Bruce sneered. "What is heaven? Are you the Jade Emperor of Heaven? So what?" Crack! A clear voice sounded. Bruce shouted coldly, and a green long sword shot out of the air and slashed down on the head of the man in black. "Cut it off with one sword." Puff! A violent cough sounded. The man in black spurted out a mouthful of blood and flew backwards. A shocking wound appeared on his chest, and blood flowed like a river. "Are you crazy? I am a Jade Emperor of Heaven." The man in black robe roared. "Pa, crisp sound. Heaven, go to hell." Bruce slapped him on the face. Bang made a loud noise. The body of the man in black exploded directly. Clang. System prompt. System prompt. System is on. Kill the Jade Emperor. The mission is successful, and you will get 1,000 luck points and 500 vertical and horizontal points. Mission information. Please select a target. Jade Emperor Combat Power Evaluation. Daluo Dingfeng Pseudo Saint. Current cultivation level 100,000. Selection completed. The killing begins. A cold electronic synthesized voice came, followed by a powerful thought falling and merging with Bruce's body. Boom! There was a huge explosion. In an instant, Bruce's body shone brightly. A majestic momentum burst out from him, setting off a storm in this space, as if it was going to tear the whole world apart. At the same time, a tall figure stepped out of the crack in space and came to Bruce's side. "Senior brother, you've finally entered Daluo." At this time, there is a layer of mist surrounding him, and his skin is bronze-colored, as if it were cast from metal. He can activate the power of heaven and earth with every move he makes. This is a true Daluo strongman. Daluo. His voice was trembling. He felt an extremely powerful desire to fight. Daluo is powerful beyond his imagination. "Daluo," a voice sounded. Son Bruce was startled and quickly retreated to a distance. He also wanted to do this, but he couldn't do it. Boom! There was a huge explosion. Suddenly, a purple flame ignited on Bruce's body, and Bruce's body began to grow bigger. Higher and higher. His body grew taller and taller, like a giant standing tall and tall. An earth-shattering roar sounded. Boom! The Bruce Palace where Bruce was located was directly blasted to pieces. "Owner, Lao-san, please spare me. Spare my grandson." Bruce was shocked. He screamed in fear. Boom! There was a huge explosion. Bruce let out an angry roar again, and his whole body suddenly surged again. In the end, his body swelled to more than 1 meter tall, his muscles were tight, and his bronze skin seemed to be made of metal, full of explosive power. Its aura became more and more violent, as if an ancient ferocious beast had awakened. "Bruce!" shouted. His eyes were burning, and he looked into the distance. Everything was in front of his eyes. This is a mountain and river. This is a small world controlled by the Jade Emperor. There's the Jade Emperor, the place where he lives. Bruce stared at the Jade Emperor. After a long time, his eyes slowly moved away from the Jade Emperor. I understand. A sneer appeared on Bruce's face. "I see." This world turned out to be the embryonic form of a supreme treasure, a real fairy fetus, which had been conceived from this embryonic form. No wonder the Jade Emperor can be born. Pity. Feng Yuan sighed. A trace of regret appeared on his face. "I won't let him succeed." A sharp light flashed in Bruce's eyes, and a strong murderous intention emanated from him. In a moment, he waved his hand, and a black long sword suddenly flew out from Bruce's palace and landed in his hand. Up. It is a long sword as black as ink, but extremely sharp. The name of this sword is Zhu Xian. Kill all the great demons in the world. Even the saints and the Hunyuan saints will die. In his hands. "Kill," he shouted. Bruce swung his knife. Boom! A dull explosion sounded. The man in black was unable to dodge and was split in half, with blood splattering everywhere. "Son Bruce." "Master." Bruce left without even looking at him. Bruce Palace is protected by a huge formation. However, in front of Bruce, there was no way to fight back. His strength is really too strong. He can easily break it open without even having to take action. Bruce's movements were extremely fast, and he was gone in the blink of an eye. Son Bruce was stunned. His face turned pale. He was trembling all over. He looked at the departing figure and kept mumbling, "Why did the master become like this?" Before he could follow, Bruce disappeared without a trace. "Master, what's going on? Can you tell me, my disciple?" His eyes became blood red and tears flowed from the corners of his eyes. Bruce walked out of the room. He stood among the clouds and looked at the mountains and small hills. Daluo, is he so powerful? Ah, very good. His eyes were full of excitement and murderous intent. This was something he had never expected. It had only been a few months, and he was already a great Luo Tianxian. More than Luo, he is simply a fake saint. Fake saint, with such a cultivation level. Even if you look at the entire universe, you are a giant. But he is still far from being a saint. Bruce's eyes narrowed. He has never been so excited. Such a speed of cultivation is simply what he has dreamed of. He can't wait for a long time. He wants to see Master Hongjun. You know, is he as powerful as herself? Could he be a dragon like Son Bruce? She wanted to see if he was qualified to be her master. Is he a kind person? Yes. This is also what an exaggeration. However, before that, there's another person who wants to meet me, Bruce said as he walked toward the palace. This is an ancient palace, floating in the sky, covering an extremely large area. The Lingxiao Palace is right here. This is also the palace of the Jade Emperor. Whoosh! A bolt of lightning flashed across the sky. Bruce arrived in an instant and looked up at the palace in the sky. In the hall, there were many figures. A girl in gold clothes with a phoenix crown hanging down to the ground, with a graceful figure and beautiful appearance, was sitting quietly on the side of the jade steps, with a touch of sadness and indifference between her brows and eyes. Chang'e, this is the daughter of the Jade Emperor. As for the three men, their auras are also very powerful. Elder sister, she shouted. One person said with a smile, "You didn't say you wanted to seek peace for my father and get what he wanted as soon as possible. Why do you come here again?" This man, dressed in brocade clothes and with a face as beautiful as a crown jade, is none other than Erlang Xinyangjian. What's more, Bruce discovered that this Erlang Shun was very powerful, which made him feel a little threatened. "Don't worry, get out of my way." Chang'e spoke calmly. "Sister," Duan Lingtian shouted. Disobedient, Regner was stunned for a moment, then realized what was happening. Chang'e's brows furrowed. "Okay," he yelled. Yang Jian pursed his lips, shook his head weakly, and said, "Sister, you always have a cold look on your stinky face. No wonder Dad doesn't love you." Snort. Chang'e glared at him angrily and ignored him. This pair of siblings is a combination of a human and a monster. Yang Jian is talented and intelligent. He was transformed from a 9th grade spiritual grass and has excellent qualifications. But because of his stubborn personality, he always causes trouble. Every time he got into trouble, he would be severely scolded by Chang'e, but in the end he escaped. For this, Yang Jian has long been accustomed to this. No one dared to say anything. Chang'e waved her hand. "It's all gone. There is no way. Everyone left. They know this very well. Her sister has never been someone who likes to be interrupted." After everyone has left, Chang'e picked up the teacup on the table, took a sip, and sighed softly. "Oh." She looked up into the distance. A trace of sadness flashed in her beautiful eyes, as if she was reminiscing about something. After a while, she lowered her eyes. He opened his eyes again. She feels very peaceful now and is no longer sad. She took out a token from her arms, pulled the red thread on her hand, and threw the token into the air. Buzz. Moment. A flash of light rose into the sky and flew towards the East China Sea. "Go back and see your parents." Chang'e murmured softly and teleported away. The other side, a mysterious island shrouded in fog. A huge, ancient tree reaches into the sky. The old tree has a thick trunk and dense branches and leaves, covering the sky and the sun. On the branches, all three children are practicing. One of them was wearing a purple robe, with purple energy lingering around his body, and he was magnificent. The other person was dressed in a white robe, and his whole body was covered with a layer of Buddha's light, as if the Buddha had reincarnated, showing great compassion. The last person, dressed in blue, is shrouded in black mist. A soft cry came. Suddenly, Duan Lingtian's eyes flashed, with killing intent in his eyes. "Are we being targeted?" "No way." The man in the white robe frowned, thought for a moment, suddenly smiled and said, "He may have passed by chance, or it may have been an accident. Don't worry, you can go and do your work." Snort. The man in purple snorted coldly, closed his eyes, and went to practice. Just now, he felt a terrible force sweeping over him. That kind of force made him feel terrified. He felt like a tiny ant. A soft cry came. Bruce's eyes narrowed violently. His consciousness spread and instantly enveloped the three realms. What a scary smell. Bruce was shocked. What was going on? A terrifying force swept over him. Even his spiritual thoughts seemed to be seen through. Who? Bruce's face showed a look of shock. He could see the scene clearly. This power was emanating from Enlightenment. What's more, it was aimed at him. This person, Bruce's heart was beating violently, and his eyes couldn't help but fall on Enlightenment. Boom! After that, he stepped onto the somersault cloud and rushed to Enlightenment at an extremely fast speed. And shortly after, Jian Wuxuang left. Whoosh! At this moment, a voice suddenly sounded. One after another, the sword Lite tore through the clouds and the sky, heading towards the heaven. Who? A loud shout came from behind. Presumptuous! What a courage! Many heavenly soldiers and generals shouted loudly and drew out their swords. They were not weak, but in the face of such a terrifying offensive, they had no power to resist. They exploded one after another and turned into a bloody mist. The next moment, an even more terrifying force struck. He. The central area of heaven. All the millions of troops perished. Nothing left. Enemy attack. Just then, a voice suddenly sounded. There is an ambush. Heaven has been breached. The whole heaven was trembling, and countless strong men roared. Bang, bang, bang. Countless monks flew into the sky from the heaven, and various immortal spells, and supernatural powers emerged in endlessly. But it was useless. Moreover, the heavenly soldiers and generals had already lost their heads before they could find their opponents. Ha! Heaven is only at this level a bunch of rubbish. A sound of wild laughter soared into the sky. Damn heaven, that's all. Ha ha ha. I don't know why, but heaven is called the strongest force in the immortal world. What a shame. For a moment, the crowd was excited. Brute! An angry roar sounded, and a terrifying figure flew out from the deepest part of the heaven. He was wearing a suit of armor, and was surrounded by countless thunder and lightning. A huge thunder axe, 100 meters long, bloomed with endless divine energy. It illuminated Kyushu. He stepped down, and the whole world trembled. Infinite thunder spread crazily on this land. Boom! The space was cut open by his axe, with a destructive force. The power of thunder fell directly on the bodies of the demons who were attacking crazily, and then exploded. Chilla! A voice sounded in the void. A dull crash sounded. Thunder light shot out in all directions. The huge thunder axe easily split all the monsters into pieces. How powerful it is! However, you demon bastard, be honest. Roll! When Regner heard this, he became furious. This roar seemed like mountains and rivers were rushing, and the sound shook the sky and made the demons tremble. The whole world was shocked. A majestic demon emperor was so frightened by an immortal lord-level being that he ran away. Why is this happening? Giggle. It turns out this is a fairy. The Supreme Elder is really too strong. Amazing. Today we are going to fight in heaven and become famous in one battle. Kill, he shouted. The demon's soldiers roared, and countless magic lights tore through the space and rushed towards the palace. How unreasonable! The immortal King Realm powerhouse was furious. He was extremely angry. As a holy realm powerhouse, how could he tolerate an insult from a small demon? Die! Jian Wuxuang shouted loudly. A giant golden dragon, with a roaring sound, pounced directly on those monsters. Giggle. Pretend to be a ghost. You are so brave. Ha 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 ha. A strong, dark aura surged out of his body, distorting the space. A palm reached out and directly grabbed the golden dragon. Boom! There was a loud noise and a huge explosion. The golden dragon was directly blasted into pieces and disappeared from this world. No way. Your power. This scene shocked the immortal lord of the Holy Realm. Although this ancestor had just woken up from a deep sleep and his strength was greatly reduced, he was still a strong, immortal Lord Realm expert. How could he be suppressed by a demon emperor so easily? This made him feel incredible. Too weak. The great emperor of the demon clan couldn't help but shook his head and glanced at him lightly. Boom! He struck again, pressed down with a palm, and the terrifying divine light burst out, like meteors falling down one after another. Boom! The light shines brightly. The earth shakes. Boom! There was a loud noise and a huge explosion. An immortal in the divine realm was actually forced to retreat. His face was pale. His eyes were full of horror. Hateful. Just an old monster who has just awakened. How so? The immortal lord in the holy realm was frightened. He wanted to run away, but he couldn't. The demon emperor's speed was so fast that he couldn't catch up. What speed is this? Boom. The whole world has changed color. He. This immortal king's body was torn apart, and his flesh and blood were blurred. Giggle. I will destroy your heaven. This heaven will be destroyed today. The demon emperor laughed, with a look of indifference in his eyes. Click. A crisp sound sounded. Crack. A crisp sound sounded. An immortal body in the sacred realm was completely shattered at this moment. Finally, he turned into fly ash and died. At this moment, the entire heaven was in deathly silence. This scene completely shocked, because this is beyond their understanding. Where is he? Get over here. The demon emperor shouted sternly. His voice was very loud. It spread far away. However, there was no movement in heaven. Snort! Jian Wushuang shouted coldly. It seems that everyone in heaven has escaped. Ha ha ha. Ha ha but. Swish. A loud bang sounded in the area. At this time, world, two ancient and mysterious swords appeared. A simple bronze longsword. A longsword shining with silver light. Countless rays of light intersected and collided with each other, erupting into endless light. Immediately afterwards, an extremely bright sword light struck directly at the demon emperor. The demon emperor was horrified, his eyes widened, and his face was full of disbelief. Sword formation? I'm going to kill you. The demon emperor shouted sharply. Buzz! A deep voice sounded. His hands burst into endless light, resisting the terrifying sword light. Click, click, click. The space around him is constantly collapsing. This terrifying sword energy seemed to destroy his protective shield. However, the sword light is getting stronger and stronger. What's happening here? An ordinary immortal lord realm could be so powerful. Hateful, hateful, hateful. The demon emperor's face changed, his heart was turbulent, and he was going crazy. This sword light was more powerful than he imagined. How could this be a strong man in the immortal king realm, even a saint? Even a strong person in this realm would never be able to withstand his blow. Bang! A loud noise. Bang! A loud noise. Bang! There was a loud noise. A sword light passed through his chest, and a shocking wound was made on his chest. Ah! The screams echoed in the air, making people's scalp numb. Die! Jian Wushuang shouted loudly. A terrifying long knife cut through the space, spanned several spaces, and struck directly at the great demon king of the demon clan. The demon emperor's face changed drastically, and he roared angrily. He held up his hands. A monstrous evil spirit rose into the sky and collided with the sword light. Whoosh! A voice sounded, causing silence all around. Call out! Jian Wu's eyes flashed sharply. Two sword lights slashed towards Sun Fei. Rumble! A huge sound came out. Rumble! A huge sound came out. His whole body was burning with blazing flames, trying to burn this sword light into ashes. Bang! A loud noise. Bang! There was a loud noise. The sword intent in the sword light was much more violent than before, directly tearing his flames apart. Ouch! A shrill scream sounded, and the demon's body was cut into several pieces. Bang! There was a loud noise. The demon emperor's body was directly blasted into the boundless demon realm. In an instant, the entire demon realm was covered in blood. How is this going? The immortals in heaven are actually so powerful. A majestic demon emperor was actually injured with just one move. The demons were all frightened, their faces full of fear. Is this a demon king-level powerhouse? The entire elf continent fell into a state of deathly silence. After a long time, there was a sound of exclamation in the street. Too strong. Their eyes widened, and their faces were full of shock. Heaven. In the beginning, they were just a group of ants. How could they become so powerful? This is unbelievable. At this moment, all the demons were panicked. Everyone is running away. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. Heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals are killing each other crazily. Oops. Withdraw, he shouted. One side of the demon tribe was defeated and suffered heavy losses. Hurry up. Hateful. This heaven is too weird. After so many years, there are still immortal kings who appear every 100 years. All our masters have been killed. The demon emperor shouted angrily. He glanced at the heavenly court, feeling a little unwilling. His eyes flashed. Hoo-ho-ho. He took a breath. Blood stained his whole body. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. In the heaven, thunder, fire, wind blade, water curtain, ice. Various attacks fell like raindrops. This moment, a large number of demons were killed. Hateful. He gritted his teeth, turned around, and left. Grown-ups, spare me. Many demons are roaring. Snort. Jian Wushuang shouted coldly. The demon emperor sneered and continued walking forward. Rumble. His figure gradually fades away. Congratulations to the system for awarding 5,000 points and 100 kill points. The system's voice sounded. This was the reward Bu Fong received. But he didn't pay attention and quickly returned to the 9-story hall. How does this work? It will take me a long time to recover. Without further ado, the demon emperor said, with a sense of determination in his eyes. Brush! A loud shout sounded. The next moment, a gloomy, evil energy emanated from his body. This trace of evil energy condensed and turned into another demon body again. Buzz! A deep voice sounded. He shuddered. A wisp of black mist slowly floated out from his head. In an instant, the situation changed and dark clouds came over him. Rumble! A huge sound came out. Rumble! A huge sound came out. Rumble! A huge sound came out. An extremely terrifying demonic energy spread in all directions, shaking the space. At this moment, the world seemed unable to bear its power. The boundless demonic energy spread out in all directions, shaking the space. Chi, covering the sky and covering the sun, covering the sky and covering the sun. This is his true form. The demonic energy surges. A black bead, like a bright planet, suspended in mid-air. My demon bead is here. How can you little minions be allowed to run wild? Roar! A slap in the face. A terrible demonic power suppressed it. In an instant, all the heavenly soldiers were shocked and vomited blood and fell to their knees. Some of the heavenly soldiers and generals with lower cultivation levels had not yet reacted. He had already passed out. No! A shrill scream came from his mouth. Help me! The heavenly soldiers and generals exclaimed one after another. Boom! A loud noise. When it fell, it was unknown how many bodies of human warriors were crushed to death. These are the corpses of powerful heavenly soldiers. Their bodies exploded and turned into a rain of blood, dyeing the entire sky red. Rumble! A huge sound came out. Rumble! A huge sound came out. The earth was shaking. Boundless demonic power spread. A terrifying force of destruction spread, making everyone feel depressed. Countless soldiers fell to the ground, turned into blood and water, gathering into darkness. And this destructive power is still increasing. Boom! A huge explosion sounded. The entire palace was destroyed. The demon emperor stood in the sky, his eyes cold and full of tyranny. He was condescending and his eyes were cold, as if he was looking down at the whole world. Poochie, The chest was penetrated and blood flowed like a torrent. Who is coming? The Devil Emperor was furious. I'm your grandfather. Suddenly, a loud laugh resounded throughout Dajo. The next moment, a dazzling golden light rose into the sky, like a divine rainbow penetrating the sun, across the void, heading towards the Demon Emperor. The speed of this sword was really too fast. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. A violent explosion sounded. The Demon Emperor's physical body was directly destroyed. His head, nascent soul, and demonic soul were all beheaded. Kill with one knife. Ding. Rewards: 3,000 killing points, 1,000 combat points, and 10,000 experience points. Ding. 500 mission completion points, 500 mission points, and 5 skill points. Ding. A level 1 warrior is needed. Ding. 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 Then, Xiao Feng opened his eyes, with a confused look on his face. Could he be dreaming? Could it be that he had practiced the 9 turns of immortality and had some kind of illusion? Do not know why. I have been having nightmares these days, maybe because I have something on my mind. Boom! At this time, the entire Tiandi city was shaking violently, as if it was about to collapse. What's the situation? Everyone looked horrified. In the midst of lightning and flint. Boom! A loud noise. Boom! A loud noise. Boom! There was a loud noise. Countless black clouds gathered together to form a huge black sun. An unparalleled force swept out from the black sun and swept across the world. A sharp voice sounded. A sharp voice sounded. A sharp voice sounded. For a time, no one knew how many people died tragically. With one blow, everyone in Tiandi City was slaughtered. No! A shrill scream came from his mouth. Ah! Stop! Please! He screamed in despair, and the screams resounded throughout the Tiandi City. But none of this could stop this evil aura. Between the electric light and flint, countless lives vanished into thin air at this moment. There are only a few people left, still hanging on. Call! This time, Lei finally breathed a sigh of relief. The Demon Emperor let out a long sigh of relief, his eyes filled with joy. He raised his right hand. His fingers were wrapped with endless demonic energy, which was an extremely terrifying force. Is this a god? Countless heavenly soldiers are all terrified. In front of this great devil, they're like a speck of dust. Trivial skills, with a cruel smile on his face. Boom! A huge explosion sounded. A terrifying demonic energy surged into his body from all directions. The aura on Su Mo's body surged rapidly, breaking through the restraints and reaching a new height in an instant. Ha ha! Immortal Lord level power? Very good. He raised his head and roared, looking excited. Swish! A voice sounded. A moment. At this moment, the Demon Emperor suddenly raised his head and looked into the distance. A tall man came slowly from a distance. His pace is very slow, but with one step, he can cover hundreds of miles. His speed is so fast that it is impossible to catch him. A terrifying aura spread out from him, and there was an indescribable law of the great Tao lingering in his every move. Boom! There was a loud noise. The Demon Emperor's eyes flashed, and he shot straight into the sky. 2 powerful and unparalleled momentums collided in the void, forming a storm. Bang, bang, bang. A terrifying evil spirit started a fierce battle with that figure. Bang! There was a loud noise, and the whole person was blown away. A punch flew out, hitting Buffon's body. The mountains of the Emperor of Heaven collapsed at this moment, and the entire galaxy began to topple at this moment. Poof! This scene shocked everyone. It was just a blow. The Demon Emperor spurted out another mouthful of blood and flew backwards. He was slightly startled. The visitor raised his brows, and his pupils shrank. How could this person be able to catch his blow? The man shouted coldly. After a moment, snort! A stronger and more powerful breath burst out from his body. The whole world was trembling. At this moment, the whole world seemed to collapse. He released an extremely dazzling light. The mighty power of the sky came out covering this world. No wonder you can become the Demon Emperor. He actually broke through to the realm of Immortal Lord. The visitor murmured, his eyes flickering, as if he was remembering some unbearable past event. Who are you? Do you dare to control the hatred between me and the human race? A demon emperor looked at the visitor and spoke coldly. Although the other party is very powerful. However, he is not afraid. I'm from the Sky Alliance. What are you going to do? The demon emperor stood proudly in the void and said indifferently, What? Ha! You are the beast who betrayed humanity and became our enemy. Today, I will act on behalf of heaven and kill you, the traitor, to death. The demon emperor said with a ferocious smile. He stretched out a big hand that covered the sky and grabbed the mysterious man. Snort! Jian Wushuang shouted coldly. The demon emperor narrowed his eyes and showed a disdainful smile. Then his claws swung out again. Another palm clapped over me. I'm going to kill you. Boom! The monstrous demonic fire swept across all directions. Plop! 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 The demon emperor sat down on the ground, with a look of horror and pain on his face. The strength of this demon emperor was beyond his understanding. It was too strong. With just such a slap, he was almost killed. If he hadn't cast a magic technique, he would have died here long ago. Probably already dead. This is too outrageous. Pop! A shrill scream sounded. Cough, cough. A stream of bright blood gushed out from the corner of his mouth. Seriously injured and dying. Who are you? His eyes fell on that person. Cough, cough, cough. I would like to advise you, just go ahead and capture him. Otherwise, today is your death day. The demon emperor stood up from the ground with difficulty, stared at the tall figure angrily. His voice was cold. You have no right to know my name. Go to hell. Boom! With a loud noise. He slapped him over. The demon emperor's physical body was beaten to pieces, and not even the bones were left. Rumble! A huge sound came out. Time passed by in a flash. Deep in the South Ridge, inside an ancient palace, rolling demonic energy, constantly churning. In the hall, the tall figure sat cross-legged, eyes closed tightly. At this moment, rumble! A huge sound came out. A huge roar sounded. Inch by inch, the space was covered by countless lightnings. Boom! It was a loud noise. A thunder spear shot out of the air, penetrated the space, penetrated the void, and stabbed towards the chest of the burly man. Ah! A scream sounded. The burly man let out a shrill scream, spit out a blood arrow from his mouth, suffered huge trauma, and his momentum instantly slumped. Hey, hey! A sinister laughter came from the corner of the hall, which made people's hair stand on end. Demon Lord, this guy is really slippery. We have been besieging him for more than 3 months, but we haven't done anything to him. A ferocious devil with a thin body and a skinny face, like a skeleton, slowly stepped into the hall and saluted the devil on the stage. Hey, hey, I personally take action. How can a group of ants defeat him? If I can't do anything to him, let him go to hell. Let him go to hell. The demon emperor opened his eyes, and the demon flames in his pupils were beating violently. He stood up slowly, stepped out, and a powerful coercion emanated from him, sweeping in all directions. Rumble! A huge sound came out. Rumble! A huge sound came out. Rumble! A huge sound came out. In an instant, inside the palace, the ground cracked, and countless lava rose into the sky, like the end of the world. Tianyi Academy, in a huge palace. Lin Haifeng sat cross-legged on the ground, silently recovering from his injuries. He was slightly stunned. At this moment, Lin Haifeng suddenly opened a pair of eyes, which were like a starry sky. Rumble! A huge sound came out. A loud noise came from his body, like the roar of thousands of dragons. A majestic and terrifying aura emanated from Lin Haifeng. He jumped up. An extremely terrifying aura, the breath emanates from his body. Whoosh! Whoosh! Lin Haifeng formed a terrible tornado between his breaths and his breaths. His aura became more and more terrifying. Eventually, his whole body was covered by an unparalleled sharp aura. Crackling! a crisp sound came out, and the bones in Lin Haifeng's body were crackling, and the muscles all over his body were bulging. His strength increased several times in an instant, and his physical strength also increased linearly. The fifth level of martial arts cultivation. This is the real warrior. From now on, I will become a powerful warrior. Lin Haifeng was so excited that he couldn't control himself, and his heart beat faster. All this was like a dream. Once upon a time, he was still a semi-saint, and his cultivation was not yet stable. Now, he is also a great martial artist. Martial Master Realm. What is this concept? Clenching his fists, Lin Haifeng had the illusion that he was in a dream. How many years ago did this happen? It was only a few hundred years ago. In just a few hundred years, he went from being an ordinary martial artist to today's step is even closer to the great martial master. What a terrifying speed. This is the primitive world. In this place, it is more difficult to reach another level than to reach the sky. However, all this is thanks to this Hongmeng Pearl. Boom! Boom! A loud noise erupted from Lin Haifeng. That was the sound made by various martial arts rules circulating in Lin Haifeng's body. It was an improvement of Lin Haifeng's strength and a reshaping of Lin Haifeng's body. Let him slowly become familiar with the level of a martial artist. Finally, I entered the realm of a warrior. Lin Haifeng muttered, looking a little excited. Suddenly, Lin Haifeng's eyes became cold. How brave you are to attack me. Do you think I'll give up? Snort. Jian Wushuang shouted coldly. You've come, but you still want to leave? Kill. Lin Haifeng stared at Duan Lingtian with cold eyes. He stepped on the ground and shot out. Then his figure completely disappeared from the sky above the Tianyi Mountains. Boom! A huge explosion sounded. Boom! A huge explosion sounded. Boom! A huge explosion sounded. A huge waterfall thousands of kilometers long, like a shining river of stars. A beautiful girl was standing there practicing her sword skills. She wore a snow-white dress that outlined her slim waist, and her long ink-like hair was tied up by a purple jade belt. A beautiful oval face with a bit of indifference, giving people a feeling that strangers should not approach her. Swish! A loud bang sounded in the area. Suddenly, her dancing stopped. He turned his hand and unsheathed his sword. Rumble! In an instant, a column of water rose into the sky, like a river of stars in the sky. Wow, wow, wow! Those splashing water droplets fell beside the woman and immediately formed a mist of mist covering her figure, so that no one can see his appearance. He was slightly startled. What on earth is this that can actually block the detection of divine consciousness? A slight voice sounded. At this moment, a faint voice came from the sky. A man shrouded in a black cloak appeared in the sky, looking down at the man. Girl in white robe. Who are you? Humph! The man in black snorted coldly. A cold light flashed in his eyes. My name is Yang Yaotian, the number 2 figure in Zhuoyang sect. I have been ordered to arrest the spies of the demon sect and hand over Lin Haifeng. I will spare your life. Otherwise die. Demon disciple? The girl in white was startled. Immediately, a bitter smile appeared on his face. Ha ha! Although Lin Haifeng is not a genius, he also knows that now the entire demonic path has unanimously elected me as the new master of the demonic path, and has also handed over the position of sect leader to me. Demon Dao, too, died in the demon rebellion, and I will become the first person in the devil's way. The demons have been wiped out, and you still want to take revenge. How brave of you! Ha 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 ha! Yang Yaotian laughed wildly, his voice full of ridicule. Lin Haifeng, I admit what happened back then, but what virtue and ability do you have to become the master of the demon sect? Do you really think that it is easy to take the position of the leader of the demon sect? You are just a pebble in the Zhuoyang sect, but you are worthy of talking to me. When Yang Yaotian heard this, his eyes suddenly condensed. Kneel down quickly and surrender to me. Otherwise die. Such a sinister sentence made Lin Haifeng furious. TSK, you think you can make me surrender? You're just talking nonsense. Lin Haifeng looked at the sky and roared angrily. Boom, there was a loud sound. Boom, there was a loud sound. Boom, there was a loud noise. When Yang Yaotian heard the words, his face suddenly darkened, and a powerful aura was released from his body. If you are stubborn, don't blame me for being ruthless. Kill, he shouted. Kill, he shouted. Just when Yang Yaotian was about to take action, two loud roars suddenly burst out from the woods beside him. Huh? Yang Yaotian was startled and turned around suddenly. At this glance, his expression changed instantly. At this moment, two people suddenly appeared in the woods. The man on the left was tall, with a tiger's back and a pair of tiger's waist. The eyebrows are as sharp as a knife. The person on the right is dressed in green clothes. He is tall and has an extraordinary bearing. He gives people a feeling of being aloof, like an immortal. Who are these two? Yang Yaotian's eyes narrowed, and he asked Su Mo. Ha 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 ha. The young man in Sing laughed loudly. Yang Yaotian, you don't even know who we are, and you dare to come and capture us. It seems like you are becoming more and more useless. The young man in green sneered. Who are you? Yang Yaotian felt a strong sense of crisis. Tisk, are you worthy of being the leader of a sect? The young man in green sneered. This is Bruce. He is Song Wenxuan. Song Wenxuan? When Yang Yaotian heard this, his eyes suddenly widened. A person's name instantly appeared in his heart. Your name is Song Wenxuan, the leader of Tianyin sect? Yang Yaotian exclaimed, his voice full of shock. Song Wenxuan is known as a rare genius in the sect. At only 30 years old, he has reached the peak of innateness and is considered to be the most talented person in the history of Tianyin sect. The person who might become the king of gods. But today he met him. Bruce said lightly, Your name is Bruce? Bruce, I have heard for a long time that you are arrogant, and you are arrogant and arrogant. It's better to meet him than to be famous. But what happened to Song Wenxuan? As a junior, what qualifications do you have to point fingers in front of me? I will decide your fate today. When Yang Yaotian spoke, a firelight rose up from under his feet and walked towards Suimo. Boom! The ground shook like an earthquake, and a large amount of magma rose into the sky and flew towards Bruce. Roll! When Regner heard this, he became furious. Bruce shouted sharply. This scene shocked everyone. He punched out and immediately penetrated the lava. So strong, Yang Yaotian's face suddenly became serious. Take the move! The golden energy in Yang Yaotian's body converged towards him at an alarming speed. Boom! There was a loud noise. Yang Yaotian blasted out with a palm, and the flames rolled, forming a long dragon, roaring away towards Bruce. Break! Jian Wushuang shouted loudly. Bruce drank violently. Bang! A loud noise. A terrible breath spread in the valley. With one blow, the fierce fire dragon was destroyed. Yang Yaotian's face changed drastically, and his face was full of disbelief. He was not afraid of Bruce, but he was not sure at all about defeating Bruce. He could see that Bruce did not try his best. No wonder you dare to come to Huangfu City alone. You really have two brushes. Yang Yaotian took a deep breath, his eyes sparkling with light. But you want to scare me? I, Yang Yaotian, travel across the world and have never been afraid of anyone. Yang Yaotian looked proud and made a handprint in his hand. In an instant, the endless flame rules gathered in his hand and condensed into a spear burning with flames, extremely sharp. Yang Yaotian shouted loudly and said, Pyroblast spear! The spear in his hand shook, making a sharp sound of breaking through the air and fired in all directions. And Bruce felt this for the first time in this world. In front of him, everything about Wanda was in front of him. This special feeling has always been there last. Until a long time, overnight, the relationship between the two reached another level. It's like breaking through some kind of barrier. Especially Wanda. This night gave her such a wonderful feeling. She looked at Bruce affectionately and couldn't help but get closer to Bruce's body. At this time, after Bruce completed his night of madness, a message belonging to the Scarlet which appeared in his mind. Oh, I really survived the catastrophe. Look, my bones are quite strong. Uncle Nyo sighed while moving his hands and feet. During this period, I was free, so I went to the back mountain to collect some wood, made a bow and arrow by myself, and practiced sword skills. I never imagined that your archery skills and your sword skills are so powerful. Now, my swordsmanship and archery skills are both at the third level of Huagang cultivation. In addition, I also learned a very powerful sword and archery skills. Bruce, who are you? I think your knowledge should exceed mine. He became more and more confused. He was indeed a rough man, with a simple mind and not good at using his brain. But his opponent was different. He knew a lot and a lot. Sometimes, even his IQ was no one in his 50s can compare to him. At this point, he admires him even more than Uncle Nyo. Bruce smiled and said, Uncle Nyo, don't say more. Anyway, there will be nothing wrong with you. Good things happen, but I don't want you to hide anything from me. Just say that I, Bruce, have no ill intentions towards them. He doesn't want to implicate anyone, especially Uncle Nyo. Well, Chen Xiaobei looked slightly startled. Uncle Nyo scratched his hair. You still want me to tell you? Bruce nodded vigorously. Yes. Uncle Nyo pondered for a moment, then suddenly sighed and said seriously, Bruce, second brother, this is for you. If you don't want to tell me, I will help him keep the secret. The Yi family will avenge you, but we can't do this. I understand, second brother. Thank you very much. Bruce bowed respectfully. You are the most talented junior I have ever seen in my life. With your talent, you may not be able to break through to gathering chi before the age of 16. Don't be lazy. Uncle Nyo patted Bruce on the shoulder, smiling proudly. I know. Regna nodded. Bruce took a deep breath and said, he is 16 years old, which is the 7th level of chi refining stage. In the past 16 years, Bruce has tried his best to train his body and improve himself. His internal strength. Now, his physical body is so powerful that it is comparable to the indestructible body of a diamond. Ordinary battle armor cannot be put on at all. If he meets someone like Yi Ling again, Bruce will also have the strength to fight. The only thing he lacks is the elixir, otherwise he would have beaten the opponent to pieces. However, Bruce ran out of spiritual stones and took 2 marrow-cleansing elixirs, which made his dantian empty. Want to move forward? You need another path. Bruce, I wonder why you came to my place. Uncle Nyo asked. Bruce shook his head and remained silent. He had already made plans in his heart. The Yi family is different from the Yi family. He is not a member of the Yi family, and he will not be influenced by others. The Yi family wants to deal with themselves. Wouldn't it be better if I stay away from the Yi family with my mother and start over? Bruce, have you made plans to leave the Yi family? Yeah. He nodded. He does have this idea. After staying in the Yi family for 14 years, he should become stronger as soon as possible. Otherwise, if the Yi family troubles him, he will not let him go. After hearing this, Uncle Nyo sighed and said, You made the right decision. Although your father left you a large fortune, you don't have to do anything and can live a prosperous life for the rest of your life. But Bruce, you have to remember that no one in this world can be trusted, and the Yi family can never be trusted. Uncle Nyo, thank you for your advice. Bruce nodded, with a serious look on his face. Well, I'll take you back now, etc. Chun Zhao stopped him. He pulled him and said, Uncle Nyo, I have a question. I wonder how the Yi family members were promoted to the realm of Qi gathering. Uncle Nyo was stunned. Bruce, your cultivation is only at the 3rd level of Qi refining. Why do you say that? Was there an accident that injured your martial arts and caused your cultivation to stagnate? No. Chun Zhao shook his head. Yang Yaotian is used to being arrogant on weekdays. He doesn't think this little 2nd-level waste has any qualifications to compete with him. Haha, you are so confident. Bruce looked at Yang Yaotian expressionlessly, with a trace of teasing flashing in his eyes. Then, his body expanded to a height of 100 meters, and the dragon-slaying knife in his hand suddenly slashed towards Yang Yaotian. Roar! Donghua Snow Eagle roared. The dragon-slaying knife buzzed. A golden waterfall that was tens of meters long and as heavy as Foshan Ridge struck directly at Yang Yaotian with the force of destroying the heaven and the earth. This golden light seemed to be condensed from golden liquid. It was extremely sharp and full of the aura of death, which made Yang Yaotian feel horrified. Ah, stop! Yang Yaotian screamed in pain. However, it was too late. Bruce struck with one sword after another, one after another. Phew! A golden light flashed, and Bruce cut off Yang Yaotian's head. He took a breath. Seeing this scene, all the innate warriors present were shocked. Yang Yaotian has fallen. The 7th level innate warrior at the top could not even receive a single blow in front of Bruce. How strong is this Bruce? This is why Yang Jinhua asked him to protect Yang Yaotian. This guy. The 2 Yang family members were also shocked. The Yang family, which was the strongest family in the Southern Territory with a profound foundation, was actually killed by Bruce in one move. Yang Yaotian was killed in one move. This fighting power was simply astonishing. The two looked at each other. Damn, this guy is so awesome. No, Bruce is going to deal with us. Hey, if I had known that this was the case, I would not have participated in this action. I will handle this matter alone. Both of them were filled with regret. They didn't expect that this operation would be so dangerous. Monsters like Bruce were unprecedented, and their power far exceeded them. Bruce stood there, staring at Yang Yaotian with cold eyes. Although he was not afraid of the Yang family, he did not want to cause any unnecessary trouble, especially in a place like this, and he did not want to kill anyone. Get out. Yi Fuqian uttered a voice. After a while, Bruce said calmly and asked them to leave. The Yang family immediately retreated as if they had been granted amnesty. Master. At this moment, Shun Xingyun suddenly stood up. His eyes fell on Yang Yaotian, and then looked at Bruce. His expression was a little tangled, as if he wanted to say something, but in the end he did not speak. What? You have nothing else to do. Shun Xingyun hesitated for a while, then bravely said, Mr. Yi, I hope you can forgive me for being rude. I wonder what kind of means you used. Why does it give me a feeling of déjà vu? Do you know my trick? Bruce frowned slightly. He didn't expect that Shun Xingyun could actually know the 5 thunder and 8 desolate palms. It seems that his skill is really not something that ordinary people can practice. Shun Xingyun nodded slightly. I know. Bruce suddenly became interested and asked, I wonder where you learned from. Why should you learn from me? Hearing Shun Tian's words, Shun Xingyun was slightly startled, and then said, This is Shun Xingyun from... What? Regner was stunned for a moment, and then reacted. Bruce's pupils suddenly shrank. Before Shun Xingyun finished speaking, Bruce flashed forward and came to Shun Xingyun. He reached out and grabbed his collar and said in a hurried tone, The Shun family? Where did Shun Fei from the Shun family go? Shun Xingyun was shocked. When he saw it was Bruce, he became excited. Mr. Yi, are you from the Shun family? He thought before that Bruce was not from Beihai County, but he didn't expect that Bruce was actually his hometown, the place he was pursuing so hard. Yes, where is Shun Fei? How is he doing now? Bruce pushed him away and said anxiously. Shun Xingyun's father was given a surname by his grandfather and changed his name to Shun because of his life-saving grace. Mr. Yi. Shun Xingyun's face was full of pain. He and Shun Fei are cousins, but Shun Fei is a playboy who spends all day with women. How could he endure this kind of torture? A few years ago, Shun Fei secretly he went out to practice and wandered outside, but he was attacked by the enemy. He died and his body was eaten by a vicious wolf. Until now, it has not been found. Bruce's face darkened. His eyes were like knives. If not, I'll find it for you. Don't worry. I will be your Shun family's lifesaver throughout my life, and I will definitely repay you well. Shun Xingyun's eyes were wet, his nose was sore, and tears were about to fall. He sobbed and nodded heavily. At this moment, Yang Jinyu suddenly stood up and asked, Bruce, the Yang family is very powerful. I heard that they are very powerful. Even in Sanglong County, they are still the overlord. I would like to advise you, don't be impulsive, otherwise you will be retaliated by them. Yang Jinyu wanted to continue to persuade, but he waved his hand, looked at Shun Xingyun, and asked in a deep voice, Just tell us where the Shun family is, the location of Sanglong County. Shun. Qing Yun gritted his teeth and said Dongfang. He is a cautious person, and he has some vague guesses about Bruce's thoughts, and there's also a feeling of worry in his heart. East. Regner was stunned. Bruce frowned slightly, but without saying anything, he kicked off his feet and rose into the sky, rushing towards the east at an extremely fast speed. Well, looking at Bruce leaving, Shun Qingyun sighed slightly. Bruce, why are you doing this? I would like to advise you, never make an enemy of the Yang family. Otherwise, there will be only a dead end. Yang. Jinyu also shook his head and said with regret, I must tell the clan leader about this matter as soon as possible and ignore him. On the way back, he took out a jade plaque, contacted the Yang family, and asked them to go back and recover. At the same time, Shun Qingyun quickly rushed to Shun's house with Bruce. Sangwon County, on the east coast of Kanglan Kingdom, has more than 3,000 small islands. It is the largest archipelago in the entire Kanglan Kingdom and the main economic and political center of the entire Kanglan Kingdom. There are a total of 380 states in the Kanglan dynasty. Each state is very large, and in the center of this land is the Kanglan Imperial Capital, which is the imperial city where the royal family is located. Kanglan Imperial Capital, as the political center of the entire Kanglan Kingdom, is tightly guarded, and one can imagine how many powerful people there are there. Bruce was extremely fast and did not dare to stop at all. There were all kinds of people in Kanglan County. Even Bruce saw several Yuan Dan realm masters. The Yuan Dan realm can be regarded as the most peak existence in Kanglan country. Even if it is placed in Beihai County, it is still a first-rate powerhouse. In addition to them, Bruce also saw many warriors from rivers and lakes. They were all dressed in strange clothes, or riding in luxurious beast carriages, or riding spiritual boats. They looked wealthy and wealthy. This Kanglan County town is really lively and truly a treasure. Bruce secretly smacked his tongue. Brother Bruce, let's take a break here before talking. Just as Bruce was looking around, Shun Qingyun's voice came to his ears. Bruce shook his head. No need. Hearing this, Shun Qingyun showed a hint of disappointment in his eyes. Brother Bruce, let's go meet Yang Yao first. When we find the Yang family, we'll ask you to go there with Brother Fei. He must also miss you very much. Bruce's heart moved. This is family affection. Although Shun Qingyun is not related by blood to Shun Fei, he still cares about Shun Fei's safety. Such a friend is really enviable. Don't worry, I will definitely help you find Shun Fei. Bruce smiled and put a hand on Shun Qingyun's shoulder. When Shun Qingyun heard this, he was immediately happy, but soon his expression turned ugly and hesitantly said, Brother Bruce, we can't possibly. He is the opponent of the Yang family. Bruce told Long Chun everything that happened that day, especially when he heard about Shun Fei's death. He was so angry that his whole body became angry. If I remember correctly, Yang Yao's grandfather should be the ancestor of the Yang family, right? Hearing this, Shun Qingyun nodded quickly. Yes, Yang Yao's grandfather is the famous elder of the Yuan gang sect, named Yang Lai, and his cultivation level is as high as the second level of Jindan. Second level of Golden Core. Hey, I want to see how strong he is. Bruce smiled lightly, clenched his fists tightly, and a trace of decisive killing intent flashed in his eyes. Brother Bruce, don't mess around. Shun Qingyun hurriedly stopped and said with some worry that Yang Yao's grandfather is an elder Yuan gang of the Yuan gang sect. If you really piss him off, the Yang family will definitely not let it go. A wave of sadness surged into his heart. Shun Qingyun knew that with Bruce's temperament, it was absolutely impossible for him to be like a coward and die. When the time comes, not only would he be killed, but Bruce would also be implicated in the disaster. Shun Qingyun couldn't bear to see his savior fall, but he was more worried about Shun Xuan. Bruce had saved his life, so he probably didn't want Bruce to die. Bruce ignored it and moved forward all the way. Yangcheng, also known as the Yang family. Yangcheng, the Shun family's residence, where Shun Qingyun was located, was not too far away. After about half a cup of tea, Bruce saw a magnificent building rising from the ground. It was a towering building. The peak of Yun is like a giant sword piercing the sky, giving people a solemn feeling. This ancient city has been placed under many restrictions, and there are many patrol teams traveling through the city, and the guards are extremely tight, giving people an extremely depressing feeling. That is the Yang family, Yi Futian said. Shen Qingyun looked at the Yang family gate, his eyes full of reverence. Brother Bruce, I'll take the first step and bypass those guards. Yangsheng is the main altar of the Yang family and is tightly defended. If the Yang family discovers it, there will be big problems immediately. Okay, I'll trouble you then. Bruce followed Shen Qingyun and sneaked into the Yang family. He had inquired before. Shen Qingyun's residence was to the south of the Shun family's mansion, and Yang Yao's residence was to the north of the Shun family. The distance between them was not far. Soon, the two of them arrived at Yang's house. Qingyun, he suddenly remembered something. Brother Qingyun, a voice came from behind. As soon as Shun Qingyun and Bruce walked to the front of the Yang family's mansion, they heard cheers. Brother Fei, you are still alive, wow. I finally have you back. A group of ragged children rushed out of the mansion and surrounded him. Bruce recognized at a glance that the girl in charge was Shun Qinglian, who competed with Shun Fei during the Kangling County selection. This little girl is about 10 years old. She is very beautiful and has a good figure, far beyond that of girls of this age. However, her face is still a little childish, her skin is white, and she looks very cute. Brother Fei, it's really you. I thought I was in a dream, but I didn't expect you to come back again. Shun Qinglian rushed directly into Bruce's arms, hugged his neck, and burst into tears. You kid, don't cry. Isn't there a big brother here? Bruce stroked her black hair and said with a smile. Whoa. Brother Fei, my parents and grandfather were taken away by the Yang family. Shun Qinglian burst into tears. When Bruce heard that the Shun family was going to be taken away by the Yang family, his face instantly darkened. A cold light flashed in his eyes, and his whole body froze. Brother Fei, you must avenge our parents and fight for our family. Shun Qinglian started crying, looked at Bruce with tears in her eyes, and asked anxiously, Okay, I promise you, one day, I will kill everyone in the Yang family. Anyone who dares to hurt the Shun family will pay the price. Thank you, Brother Bruce. Shen Qingyun was moved to tears. Bruce's promise was of great significance to him. If Bruce could avenge him, Shun Qingyun would definitely involve him without hesitation. Bruce gently stroked Shun Qinglian's long hair, smiled faintly, and said, Okay, hurry back and tell your grandpa. Shun Zhao responded. Shun Qinglian responded, turned around, and rushed into the mansion. Brother Bruce, wait a moment. After Shun Qingyun finished speaking, he also entered. Bruce stood there, watching Shun Qingyun's figure gradually go away, with a sneer on his face, and then slowly walked towards the Yang family. Who is it? Come and stop. Who is so bold to break into our Yangsheng? Go to hell. Get out of my way. As soon as Bruce entered Yangsheng, he immediately attracted the guards of the Yang family, and hundreds of people surrounded him. Seeing this scene, Yelu calmly took out a piece of the county prince's waist from his arms. Card. As soon as the guards of the Yang family saw that Bruce was holding the command talisman of the Marquis Mansion, their faces turned pale, and they all prostrated. Yang Lai. Yang Yong. Please see General Yi. Free of charge. Yi Futian said. Where's Captain Yang? Let me see. General Yi, please come this way. The guard of the Yang family are all respectful to Bruce. The generals of the prince's mansions have a very high status. The people that Mr. Yang trusts the most are also very strong. At least they must have the 5th or 6th level of strength. Only then can he be selected as the youngest general in Yang City. This guy's strength is definitely not as simple as the ordinary 4th level innate. I am afraid it has reached the 5th level acquired. Yang Lai is the confidant of the head of the Yang family. With huge power, among the Yang family they have extremely high status. How could they be disrespectful in the face of such a situation? Bruce followed the Yang family guards and stopped in front of a quiet mansion. The ancestor is discussing the wedding of the Yang family and the Yin family in the main hall. Please wait a moment. I will go and report to the ancestor. A Yang family guard bowed and saluted Bruce. Bruce frowned. He originally wanted to use this as an excuse to sneak into the Yang family and find out about S.H.I.E.L.D. But now the Yang and Yin families are getting married. Bruce planned to hide in the dark for the time being and wait and see what happens. Otherwise, any of his actions would be discovered, which would be extremely detrimental to finding S.H.I.E.L.D. Bruce nodded and then waited in the courtyard. Not long after, a tall and muscular middle-aged man strode over. He was dressed in green clothes, with a red face, bright eyes, and energetic look. He had the aura of a master all over his body. "Hi, S.H.I.E.L.D, long time no see." When he saw Bruce, Yang Lai greeted him warmly. "Brother Yang." Meng Hao raised his head and looked at Meng Hao. Bruce shook hands with Yang Lai and said with a smile, "I didn't expect that I would have to trouble you this time." Yang said something serious to S.H.I.E.L.D. "You are kind to my Yang family. I will naturally be happy to help you with this small matter." Yang Lai waved his hand. Bruce smiled and said, "Brother Yang, can you tell me about the situation in Yangcheng?" "Oh, didn't I forget that?" Yang Lai suddenly slapped his forehead, then pointed to a stone chair beside him and said with a smile, "Brother Yi, please sit down. Let's go into the house and talk." The two of them entered the courtyard and sat down on the roof. Yang Lai held a cup of tea, took a sip, and then began to tell. "Brother Yi, there are actually three major families controlling Yangcheng. Yang family, Lin family, Yin family, Qin family, Qin family. Direct descendants of the Yang family, a total of 28 people. The lord of Yang City is Changyang Batian of the Yang family. This Yang Batian is very powerful and has reached the 9th level of innateness. In this way, with his order, the entire Yangcheng will be washed with blood, and anyone who resists will be slaughtered by him. In addition, under the Yang family, there are also several small families. They all have more or less certain backings. They are not so easy to mess with, and they cannot be easily shaken." Bruce heard the words and nodded slightly, showing a thoughtful look. Yang Batian has the talent for arrogance. With the 9th level of S.H.I.E.L.D cultivation and the support of the Yang family, he is already a force that cannot be underestimated. Also, no wonder Yangcheng has become the most prosperous city in Yangcheng. Rich people from all walks of life in Yangzhou gather here, so they don't have to worry about having money to spend. According to the information I got, this Yang Batian seems to be related to the devil. "Demon Gate," a middle-aged man said. Yang Lai was stunned, with a look of shock in his eyes. "Yes, the Yang family has long been in cahoots with the devil. Before I was still in Dongyue County, I heard that there were demons in Yangcheng who were causing trouble and causing harm to the world. Yangcheng is located in a remote area, but there are still many rich people. Some people secretly put pressure on the city lord to avoid being harmed by the devil, forcing the city lord to send soldiers to guard Yangcheng. It's a pity that the remnant's behavior is mysterious, and no one has been able to catch him so far. But as far as I know, several families and sects in Yangcheng have different intentions and are ready to take this opportunity to replace." "S.H.I.E.L.D, what are you talking about? Did you find any clues?" Yang Lai asked in surprise. "Yes. Last night, I sneaked into the Yang family's residence and killed Yang Tongtian, the remnant of the demonic path. I also rescued a woman from there. That woman was called S.H.I.E.L.D. She had close ties with the Yang family in Yangcheng. If I expected it to be true, S.H.I.E.L.D is from the Shun family." Bruce briefly explained what happened just now. When Yang Lai heard this, his face suddenly darkened. If what General Yi said is true, then S.H.I.E.L.D's origin will be a bit troublesome. What does Brother Yang mean by this? Is there something suspicious about S.H.I.E.L.D? Bruce said doubtfully. "S.H.I.E.L.D, please be patient and let me explain in detail." Yang Lai stroked his beard and said thoughtfully, "The Yang family has a total of 3 warriors with the 9th level of S.H.I.E.L.D cultivation. These 2 people, one is named Yang Batian, the other is named Yang Zhentian, and the other is named Yang Lingtian. Yang Zhentian is the only son of the head of the Yang family, and his cultivation has reached the 9th level of innate cultivation. Yang Zhentian is an upright man, and is the most suitable candidate for the Yang family to succeed as the head of the family. It's just that he only has 2 children, Yang Lai and Yang Hao. Yang Lai is extremely talented, somewhat scheming, and somewhat famous in Yangcheng, but his ambition is far beyond that of his father, and he does everything to the best of his ability. As for Yang Lingtian, his martial arts are slightly inferior, but he is cunning, ruthless, and bent on seeking power, and he will use all possible means. Yang Lingtian plotted against Yang Chongtian, causing his family to be killed and his wife to be implicated. That's it. Li Tong nodded, as if he understood. At first, he thought that Yang Lingtian was very outstanding among the younger generation of the Yang family. Unfortunately, the battle between the Yang and Yin families, it has been going on for thousands of years, and neither side really has anything to do with the other. Therefore, their two families live in peace. He never expected that Yang Chongtian would be killed by Yang Lingtian, which made him his heart was full of regret. No matter how you looked at it, there was nothing to be pitiful about him, because he had voluntarily joined the demonic path in the first place. Such a scumbag should be killed. However, he still had a feeling that Shun Shuefu might as well. Neither the Shun family is as innocent as he shows. Brother Yang Lai, how could the Yang family not know about the collusion between Yang Lingtian and the Yin family? Well, Chu Feng sighed. Yang Lai sighed. How can our Yang family tolerate an evil spirit in Yang City and ruin our Yang family business? However, in recent years, Yang Lingtian has become more and more powerful in the Yang family with his own cultivation. As he got older, our Yang family had nothing to do with him for a while, so we kept letting him go. Li Tay snorted coldly. Yang Lingtian, do you think you can hide this from my Yang family? Yang Lai nodded slightly. The four major families in Yangcheng have been fighting each other for hundreds of years, with constant friction. Especially in recent years, there have been many turmoils over certain interests. The death of Yang Chongtian will only make this conflict more serious. Fierce. Although Yang Lingtian is ruthless, he is extremely cautious in his actions. For so many years, our Yang family has not caught any evidence. But if they really want to do something shameful, let the Shun family hand over Shinshuefu. Come out, so what? Bruce said calmly. When Yang Lai heard this, his expression changed, and he said, if this is the case, I must report this matter to the clan leader. Li Tong nodded, then hesitated and said, Brother Yang, the son of the head of the Yang family, is he still here? Yep. You don't have to worry about this. How is this person? I heard my father say that the son of the head of the Yang family, named Yang Chongtian, is extremely talented. At only 15 years old, he has reached the 7th level of innate realm. He is the leader among the younger generation in Yangcheng, and his future is unlimited quantity. Yang Lai explained. Brucing nodded and said, he should be practicing Yang-style martial arts, right? Yang Lai looked surprised. Brother Yi, why did you say this? Look at me. I practice the power of pure Yang, and the power of Yang Yuan in my body is different from ordinary people. You may not be able to detect it. How come the people in Yangcheng cannot detect the abnormality in me? Bruce said with a smile. I see. Yang Lai suddenly understood. What Brother Yi is practicing is the ultimate Yang skill. But even so, no one in Yangcheng will question that he is practicing a pure Yang body, right? Are the Yang family not interested in this at all? Yang Lai smiled slightly and said, in Yangcheng, the Yang family of Yangcheng is the overlord of the party, and that's true. Even if Yang Lingtian has any ideas, he will not go against the wishes of the clan leader. How strange. Hearing this, Bruce frowned slightly, since Yang Lingtian discovered that this Yang Chongtian might be from the Yang system. Why didn't he stop it? Well, Chen Xiaobei looked slightly startled. Yang Lai was left speechless by the question. That's why your brother doesn't understand. Yang Lai said anxiously. My father and second uncle all felt that Yang Lingtian must have something up his sleeve, but what exactly was going on, we who were fans of the authorities couldn't figure it out at all. Bruce. After a while, Bruce slowly spoke. Brother Yang, I actually have something to tell you. Yang Lingtian must also know that the secret method that Yang Chongtian practiced is the secret code of the Yang family. So he will definitely try his best to destroy it. Destroy? Does he have this qualification? Yang Lai roared. It depends on your ability. Bruce replied lightly. How do I say this? Yang Lai looked puzzled. Bruce replied, actually, the Yang family has long been in decline. Now, Changyang Beishan's cultivation is also stuck in a bottleneck. His lifespan is about to come to an end. Brother Yang Lai, Yang ancestor, do you know him? Yang Lai nodded slightly. The most powerful people in our Yang family now are the family leader Yang Beishan and the second boy Yang Honda. But he's almost reaching his limit, and he probably won't be able to hold on for too long. Li Tay said slowly, when Yang Honda dies, Yang Beishan will definitely give way. By then, it will be the time when Yang Lingtian rises. That's natural. Yang Laishan nodded repeatedly in agreement. If Yang Beishan gives way, Yang Lingtian will take the position of clan leader, and maybe he will also serve as the leader of the 13 countries in our south. By then, this Yangsheng will be Yang Lingtian's world, and no one can stop him. But the Yang family will never let him grow up. Therefore, before Yang Beishan surrenders, Yang Lingtian must have strong power, otherwise he will no longer be able to control the situation. Bruce spoke slowly. What a big ambition. Yang Lai was itching his teeth with hatred. Once Yang Beishan announces his abdication, he will never give in. He will definitely try every means to seize power. At that time, it will inevitably cause turmoil and the impact will be extremely bad. Fortunately, the auction is about to begin. As long as there are enough items, the safety of Yangsheng is still guaranteed. Before the auction ends, I also asked Brother Yang to help inquire about some things about Yang Chongtian. If necessary, I will go there in person to understand Yang Chongtian's current situation. Bruce said. When Yang Lai heard this, a hint of joy appeared on his face. Ordinary warriors, Yang Lai would not bother to pay attention to him. But he knew that this was a strong man who had reached the 8th level of innate cultivation. Who is he? What if? Of course, he would be happy to be able to remove all obstacles for Yang Lingtian. Yang Lai said apologetically, Brother Yi understands righteousness, and I admire you very much. To be honest, Brother Yi, I also have concerns, and I cannot answer Brother Yi's question. I had no choice but to politely reject Brother Yi. Li Tong nodded and said, during this period, I will stay at Yang's house in Yangsheng for a while. We will leave as soon as this auction is over. If something happens in Yangsheng, please let Brother Yang know in time, and we will try our best to help when the time comes. Yang Lai clasped his fists. That's very good. Brother Yi said this, and I feel relieved. After that, the two parted ways. Early the next morning, it was still dark. Yang's house in Yangsheng, in a luxurious courtyard. Yang Lingtian was sitting cross-legged on a stone platform next to him, holding a cup, drinking tea leisurely. At this moment, the door opened and a young man in white robe walked in. Master! The young man in white robe bowed slightly and raised his hand to Duan Lingtian. Yang Lingtian did not raise his head, but responded lightly, and then asked, Is everything arranged? Already. So, you take this item to the auction now, and remember to buy the Yang family's blood spirit flower. Buy as much as you can, and buy as much as you can. Yang Lingtian said. Understand, Master. Yang Lingtian waved his hand. You can go. The boy in white robe retreated quietly. After the boy in white robe left, Yang Lingtian took out a token, stared at it closely, and whispered, Dad, if you have feelings, please don't blame me. I'm also thinking about our Yang family. I think, even if you are under Jiuquan, you will also understand my difficulties. A cold light flashed in his eyes, and he reached out and touched the talisman. A gap appeared on the talisman, and a black light shot out from the gap. The black light flew into the sky, slowly rippled, and turned into an ethereal light shield. The photo mask showed a crystal clear halo, and within the halo was a magnificent hall. Sir, what's the matter? An old voice, full of the aura of death, came from the mouth of the old slave. Master, I have a few things that I don't understand, and I would like to ask for advice. Yang Lingtian said respectfully, If you have any questions, just say it directly. Don't you still trust your father? How can it be? Yang Lingtian quickly explained, What this disciple is worried about is that if my father resigns as the clan leader, Yang Batian will take action against me. Insolent, came a loud shout. Yang Lingtian, Jian Wushuang shouted. Your father finally took the position of clan leader. How can you let outsiders get involved? Besides, this kid is not a native of our Yangqing. He just wants to use the power of your Yang family. However, he is not related to the Yang family, so why should he help? Stupid. Regner looked disdainful. Don't forget, our Yang family has the bloodline of the ancient dragon clan. If you can absorb all the power of your qi and blood, it may help you break through to the 9th level of the Xiantian realm. By then, the power of our Yang family will skyrocket again. This is an excellent opportunity. When Yang Lingtian heard this, his heart trembled. Master, is this really okay? If you're willing to cooperate, you will definitely succeed. You have to understand that I am a 7-star body refining master, and my cultivation has reached the 10th level of innate cultivation. If I can absorb all the essence and blood in your body, I can temporarily restore my strength with the help of the ancient dragon soul. By then, killing Yang Batian will be just a matter of effort. But if I can't succeed, wouldn't I become a waste? As long as I can succeed, what about your bloodline? Don't you want to surpass Yang Lai and Yang Dingtian? Let your mother get married, and let Yang Chongtian kneel down for you? Yang Lingtian showed a ruthless look on his face. Master, I will never fail. Okay, you practice well. I will help you find out about Yangba Mountain. Master, please rest assured. There is nothing in the Yang family that can be hidden from you, Master. At this time in Yangcheng, the Yang family in a mansion. Father, the guard next to Yang Lai said that during the auction tomorrow night, the Yang family is likely to take advantage of the chaos to cause trouble. Yang Chongtian frowned slightly, looking a little uneasy. Haha, it seems they're going to take action too. Yang Batian grinned, with a smile on his face. Father, what should we do? Yang Batian thought for a while and said, they can't sit still anymore. We're going to make a fuss. I'm ready to let the elders of the Yang family discuss it. An elders meeting will be held tomorrow morning. Yang Ling, the #1 person in Yangcheng, God, there is also your brother, who will participate together, and at the same time select some outstanding disciples. Oh, Yang Chongtian was startled. Yang Lingtian and Yang Beishan should be on the same page, right? Even the elders can gather here to discuss who will be the next clan leader. That is because they wish they could become the city lord of Yang City. In that case, the two of them can compete for the power of the city lord's palace. Yang Batian asked in a deep voice with a gloomy face. What does father mean? That we want to destroy their bid and prevent Yang Beishan from becoming the clan leader? Yes. In this way, Yang Batian will not be able to become Yang Beishan's clan leader. He is no match for Yang Lingtian. At that time, we can take advantage of the situation and completely control his power. Yang Batian said viciously. Yang Chongtian frowned and said, I'm worried that Yang Batian will find out that his son's murder has something to do with us. It doesn't matter. We act in secret, and it shouldn't attract his attention. Moreover, he is also worried that we will take his place. Yang Batian was full of confidence and seemed to have already expected this. I know it well. A night of silence. Yifeng was practicing in his room. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door, and then someone came in and reported, Master Yi, this is your secret message. A secret letter? Yifeng stopped practicing, stood up, walked to the window, and unfolded the secret letter. When Yifeng saw the secret letter, a smile appeared on his face. It is indeed him. Early the next morning, Yang Lingtian immediately rushed to the auction. The auction location this time was a quiet villa on the outskirts of Yangcheng. The entire mansion was heavily guarded. Ordinary warriors should not even think of approaching this mansion. Otherwise, one arrow could kill them. Mr. Yang, come with me here. This time, the master of our family will hold an auction for us. The steward brought Yang Lingtian into the auction house. A huge attic was located in the middle of the auction. This attic was resplendent, exuding an ancient flavor. Just like the dragon entrenched here exuded an extremely powerful pressure that made people suffocate. Yang Lingtian was shocked. He had heard that the attic was called Yang House, and it was the most luxurious in the entire Yang House. 1. But this Yang family is made of a rare mineral. It weighs 10,000 kilograms and is extremely hard. Even a third-level innate warrior cannot destroy it. As the Lord of Yang City, Yang, of course, Tyrant has this right. At the auction house? What a grand gesture! Yang Ling Tian secretly sighed. He originally thought the Yang family was very luxurious, but after seeing the Yang family, he was still shocked. This building alone was enough to make people marvel. Yang Ling Tian did not stop, but directly entered the auction house and entered the depths of the auction house. There were many guest rooms inside, all prepared for guests, and Yang Ling Tian was arranged in the third private room. I have met the Yang City Lord. As soon as Yang Ling Tian walked into the auction venue, a middle-aged man came over immediately. This middle-aged man, named Li Yunsheng, is in charge of all the affairs of Yangcheng. All the industries in Yangcheng, the shops, as well as the elixir shop, are almost all managed by him. His strength is nothing compared to Yang Batian, but as the manager of Yang City, his strength should not be underestimated. Uncle Li, Yang Ling Tian clasped his fists towards Jian Wushuang, still so humble. Hee, the Yang City Lord's visit really makes us look so happy. Li Yunsheng laughed and led Yang Ling Tian into the private room. The auction is divided into 3 levels. The starting price of the ordinary level is 1 million. The starting price of the VIP level is 8 million, and the starting price of the VIP level is 50 million. Yang Ling Tian is also one of the best in Yangqing. He has a very high status and can enjoy the privileges of the VIP area. As soon as Yang Ling Tian stepped into this elegant room, he was slightly startled. Li Yunsheng asked suspiciously, "Why did the young city master say this?" Yang Ling Tian looked around, but Yang Beishan was nowhere to be seen. "Where is father?" Li Yunsheng said, "The master is discussing something with other elders now." "Discuss something?" Yang Ling Tian's eyes lit up. Shun Zhao responded. "Wasn't this level of auction organized by the clan leader himself?" Yang Ling Tian was a little puzzled. In his impression, every auction was held by the clan leader himself. This has never happened before, but today, Yang Beishan did not appear. This is very unusual. The young city lord calmed down. Li Yunsheng smiled slightly. It is up to the elders to consider this matter. The clan leader only needs to come forward and express his position at the critical moment. Everything else will be resolved by themselves. Li Yunsheng paused for a moment and then said, "In addition, I also heard that there is a feud between the young city lord and Yang Lai of Yangcheng. I wonder if this is true." When Yang Ling Tian heard this, he sneered and said, "He's just a clown. He's not qualified to compete with me." After saying that, Yang Ling Tian left in a hurry and quickly returned to his courtyard. The battle must be resolved quickly, otherwise things will change later and let others take the lead. At the same time, in a secluded courtyard of the Yang family, Yang Lai was sweating profusely practicing sword skills. Suddenly, "Yang Lai, second uncle, Yang Lai would like to send you greetings." In the courtyard, Yang Lai stopped and bowed deeply to Suyu. "Is there any progress in Yang Yin Fist?" At this time, Yang Lingxiao said, "I would like to inform my second uncle, my Yang Yin Fist has reached its peak, and I will be promoted if I have a little more firepower." Yang Lai responded, and then said worriedly, "Second uncle, my father doesn't have time to be with me today. Do you want to see him? There are some things I need to tell you." Yang Lingxiao said seriously, "Tonight we got information that Yang Ling Tian will participate in this auction. The purpose is for this drop of blood. I suggest you get it even if you hurt yourself." "What?" Regner was stunned. Yang Lai's face changed drastically. His face turned livid, and he gritted his teeth. "You mean I'm not as good as Yang Ling Tian?" "Second uncle, I will never let him take away everything that belongs to me." "Yes." Yang Lingxiao shook his head and smiled bitterly. "But you have more combat experience than him, and he is not proficient in marksmanship. You just took this opportunity to kill him in one fell swoop. In addition, we have recently joined forces with several other aristocratic families to deal with the Yang family. This auction is an opportunity. Yang Lingxiao's eyes shot out a trace of fanatical light. In a box at the auction, a girl in a green shirt is looking at a mirror and dressing herself up carefully. Her skin is as good as snow. Her face is beautiful. Her eyes are full of spirituality, and her aqua blue outfit highlights her exquisite figure. The pretty face is reddish and charming. Mississippi, she shouted. At this moment, a maid came in and said to Duan Lingtian, Manager Li asked you to wait for me in the lobby. Oh, the girl in blue frowned slightly, put the exquisite brocade box aside, then stood up and walked out of the box. Not long after, the two of them walked to the hall. It turns out to be Miss Xiaoya. Miss Xiaoya, you are finally here. Miss Xiaoya, you will definitely become the most beautiful woman in the room. The guests shouted in all directions. The girl in blue smiled slightly and said, Thank you very much. Miss Xiaoya is so beautiful. Even I am fascinated by her. A middle-aged man came to the girl in blue and asked with a smile. His eyes swept over her body, full of lustful thoughts. Thanks. The girl in blue was not angry, but showed a bright smile, which made the middle-aged man stunned. What a beautiful woman. In the entire Yansheng, she is definitely ranked among the top 3. The guests who were watching were all amazed. The girl in blue smiled and nodded, as if she had been accustomed to these compliments for a long time, and her beautiful face was filled with smiles. The young city lord is here. At this moment, a loud shout came. Young city lord. Everyone looked out the door, their eyes full of fire. In everyone's eyes, Yang Lingtian was dressed in black, exuding a powerful aura, and there was a ball of flame in his eyes. Beating gives people a completely different feeling. Feeling everyone's gaze, Yang Lingtian showed a trace of pride on his face. Yang Lingtian, his strength has reached a new level. The girl in blue frowned. She could clearly feel that the aura on Yang Lingtian's body seemed to have become much stronger. He should be at the 9th level of mortal transformation. He was only one step away from breaking through to the Nirvana realm. This speed of cultivation made her envious. But she quickly returned to normal and said with a smile, Brother Lingtian, why are you here so late? I ran into a little trouble along the way. Yang Lingtian waved his hand, then looked at everyone with a smile on his face. I'm sorry for keeping you waiting for so long. It doesn't matter. After all, you're the glory of our Yang family. Ha, what are you talking about? Young City Lord. It's done, Young City Lord. Everyone picked up their wine glasses with a smile. Yang Lingtian raised his glass and drank it in one gulp, then looked at the girl in the blue dress, smiled softly, and said, Xiao Wu, I came to the auction this time not just to buy something, but also to buy something. Something to give to Xiao Wu. What do you think? The girl in blue's beautiful eyes are shining with hope. This is something very special, and I want you to take it to this auction. Yang Lingtian took out a jade pendant from his arms and handed it to the girl in blue shirt. He said, I got this jade pendant accidentally. It contains powerful energy. If you are in any crisis, just crush it to pieces or use your own energy to activate it. I will be there as soon as possible. Life-saving thing. Brother Lingtian, thank you very much. A hint of gratitude flashed in the eyes of the girl in blue. She gently took Yang Lingtian's hand and touched Yang Lingtian's little hand. Yang Lingtian suddenly felt comfortable all over and couldn't help but exclaimed, What a good thing. Yang Lingtian didn't stop for much and went straight to the auction house. No matter how playful he was, he could still distinguish the important from the important. Of course, Yang Lingtian couldn't let go of this grand event, and the girl in the blue dress was waiting for him. After finishing the matter this time, just enjoy it when the time comes. Soon, Yang Lingtian came to the door of the box number 1, reached out and patted the door of the box. Please come in. A voice came from inside. Yang Lingtian pushed open the door of the box and saw a group of people sitting in the box. His pupils shrank instantly. It's him. It was a somewhat familiar figure. The person who came was exactly that. That Yang Yin. No, it's his clone. Hello, young master. At this moment, an elder in the VIP room stood up and saluted Yang Lingtian. This man's name was Uncle Yang. He was an elder of the Yang family and had been under Yang Kuan for many years. Uncle Yang, where are the Yanyan people? Yang Lingtian frowned, and his voice became deeper. Where are the people? When Uncle Yang heard this, there was a trace of embarrassment on his face, and he said, Young master just went to deal with some things, and it may take some time to come back. Bastard, he shouted. Yang Lingtian shouted, his face gloomy. Don't he know that we're going to take out a pill for auction? Uncle Yang's expression froze, and he murmured twice. Uncle Yang, you are really getting better and better as you live. Yang Lingtian looked at Uncle Yang. A trace of cruelty flashed in his eyes, then looked at Yang Yin, who was controlled by him, and said angrily, Stand up quickly. Okay, master. The agent bowed and retreated. Not long after, Yang Yin appeared in the hall with a graceful girl, causing a commotion among everyone. Hey, isn't this Lu Yin'er? It is said that Lu Yin'er is the only daughter of the direct ancestor of the Lu family. At the age of only 20, she has already reached the level of a martial artist. Her cultivation level has reached the peak of a king, and she has mastered a skill called Ice Wine Sword Technique. King-level advanced martial arts. It is expected to condense 4-star strength in the future. Lu Yin'er is so good-looking and so strong. Don't you think so? But how could the Lu family be willing to betroth such a delicate woman to Yang Lingtian? Suddenly, everyone was shocked and started talking. Xiao Wu, just have a good rest here. We will discuss it carefully after I finish handling the matters here. Yang Lingtian turned a deaf ear to everyone's words. He took Lu Yin'er's little hand and walked directly to the VIP room. It was obvious that Yang Lingtian and Lu Yin'er had been having an affair for a long time. Lu Yin'er gave a sweet smile and did not resist. She followed Yang Lingtian into the private room obediently. Boom! The door was closed tightly. Yang Lingtian rushed directly to the bed and suppressed Lu Yin'er like a wolf. The tiger tore Lu Yin'er's dress apart. Lu Yin'er snorted, but she was obedient. Seeing this scene, those who were watching had regrets and regrets on their faces. Hey, this bastard Yang Lingtian actually dares to do such a thing in public. It really embarrasses my Yang family. That's right, young Master Yang actually didn't even care about his own reputation, just to grab a concubine. Everyone was shaking their heads desperately, and some people even covered their eyes with their hands. They didn't want to see such a thrilling scene again, so as not to stain their eyes. In the VIP room, Yang Lingtian's body was covered with blood. All his clothes were taken off, and he was about to attack Lu Yin'er. But the next moment, the man named Yang Yin had already rushed in front of him and slashed him with a knife. Damn it, there is someone else taking my place. Yang Lingtian's heart was beating wildly. This is a being even more powerful than a great martial artist. For a moment, Yang Lingtian's mind was racing with thoughts. Finally, he gritted his teeth and crushed the jade pendant in his hand. Suddenly, a strong purple light emitted from him, like a flame, instantly covering everything in the room. What happened? Everyone was stunned. A purple mist spread and quickly obscured everyone's sight. At the same time, Yang Yan's clone punched Yang Lingtian's chest, making a dull sound, and the bone shattered. The whole person was beaten into the air and hit the wall hard. Phew! The bright red blood spurted out, dyeing the white wall red. Yang Lingtian, Jin Wushuang, and others were frightened by Yang Lingtian's miserable appearance. Yang Lingtian lay there. His body trembled slightly, and then he lost consciousness. His chest collapsed, and his internal organs were shattered. This is Yang Lingtian is a martial arts sect with a strong physique. If he were an ordinary warrior, he would be crippled with just one blow. It's so dangerous. Yang Yin wiped the blood on his face. A trace of fear flashed in his eyes. Master! At this time, a voice sounded. Uncle Yang shouted in surprise from the VIP room, and immediately after, Yang Kuan rushed over in a hurry. Yang Kuan looked at Yang Lingtian's miserable look, and a look of killing flashed in his eyes. Meaning, he said word by word, If you dare to hurt the young master, you will be punished. After saying that, the long sword in his hand was unsheathed, and he slashed down with one blow. Poof! The sword light flashed across the sky, as fast as thunder and extremely sharp. In an instant, it passed through the double, taking her along with her. Annihilate. Smoke. Yang Kuin's eyes widened. He had never thought that this puppet could be so strong. As Yang Yan's clone fell, the black smoke from Yang Lingtian's body quietly submerged into his body. Ah! Yang Lingtian suddenly raised his head and let out a scream. This frightened everyone. Yang Kuin also showed a hint of joy on his face. Yang Lingtian's memory was restored. This is a big deal. Good news. Yang Lingtian struggled to open his eyes, but when he saw his clone, he was shocked and said, Yang Yin, who are you? Why, it's not me. The man chuckled, his body swayed, and he had completely changed into a different person. You, who are you? Yang Lingtian had a bad feeling in his heart and asked. This is none of your business. The man named Yang Yin shook his head indifferently, then raised his hand and slapped Yang Lingtian in the face. Snap! A crisp sound resounded throughout the arena. Ah! A scream rang out. This slap was very cruel, causing Yang Lingtian's cheeks to bulge high. A blood arrow spurted out from his mouth, and his body was directly hit. Fell to the ground. You are so brave. Yang Lingtian roared angrily. Yes, I'm going to beat you up. Are you Yang Yan's undercover agent? Suddenly, Yang Lingtian realized something, and his expression immediately changed. He never thought that his father would actually plan a spy at this auction. Good. Yang Yan's clone said indifferently, and then walked towards Yang Lingtian with cold eyes. Yang Lingtian, do you think your plan is perfect? Let me tell you, I know everything about tonight, and the words you said are all lies. Yang Yan's clone said so categorically that Yang Lingtian was shocked. At this moment, his heart was extremely shocked. I really don't know that Lu Yin'er is interested in me. Otherwise, I would have snatched her away and handed her over to my father. Would there be any need to stay here? The man named Yang Yin murmured in a low voice. Yang Lingtian's face was ashen. Heaven and earth have no beginning, no een, and no end. Everything is the initial image. This is the way of chaos, and the way of chaos is to reverse the innate and override nature. The monkey's eyes shined. The art of chaos is a kind of heaven-defying art of enlightenment. As long as you control it, you can enter the realm of chaos and become an immortal. How can this be learned? Don't you understand yet? Yi Xiao smiled proudly. It's okay if you don't know. It's like our high technology. The problems involved in it are not something a little monster like you can understand. Science and technology? Not bad. He nodded. What? Yes. Regner nodded. Bruce looked very serious. Science is the real source of power. It can make you stronger, smarter, and smarter. Being more beautiful can also extend your life. If you are smart and diligent enough, you can do some incredible things. The monkey was completely confused. What does it mean? No way. The human race has emperors, princes, and gods who can open up the world and expand the world. As for our demon clan, only you are still alive. Can I become stronger too? No problem. Li Te was full of confidence, as if he was talking about a major event. As long as you practice well, within 100 years, I can promise you that you will become a master and let you see what it means to be an immortal. The monkey was dumbfounded. Before Bruce finished speaking, Monkey stood up and left without saying a word. Bruce looked confused. Hey, already left? That's all. Bruce shouted again, but the monkey ran away as if it didn't hear anything. Depend on. Oh my God, damn monkey. This bastard dares to deceive me and ask me to teach him the way to immortality. How brave. I must avenge this. After more than an hour, Wukong came back. But this time, her face was flushed, and it was obvious that she was in a good mood. Hey, Jiang Chun grinned. Senior brother, Master said, if you can tell me the benefits of this technique, he will teach me an immortal technique. Not immortal. No. Richard asked rhetorically. I teach you to help you practice, and you also want to teach me a method of longevity. The monkey was startled at first, and then he was overjoyed. He immediately clapped his chest and said solemnly, Okay, easy to say. If you want to learn, just ask me. Bruce nodded, but there was a sneer in his heart. This monkey's brain is not strong enough, and he is not a fool. He must have guessed that this method of immortality is fake. But Bruce had already been mentally prepared. I will never say it out loud. If you want to learn, then I will teach you. As long as you are willing, I will teach you. If you're not willing, I will make you pay the price. Of course, the premise is that you have to be good. After all, Bruce, I also want to get some clues from this ape. Then, senior brother, tell me how to practice this technique. The monkey was gearing up, looking impatient. Chen Zhao responded. Brucing nodded. The method of immortality given by heaven can only be practiced by the descendants of heaven. The monkey's eyes lit up. Are the disciples of heavenly Tao like this too? Li Te said disdainfully. My teacher is the #1 genius in Daoyuo Dojo. You should know why I want to teach you. Oh, that's it. Bruce secretly sighed. This kid is really a character. Then Bruce continued to make nonsense. This technique is created by heaven and earth, generated naturally, with a ray of spiritual wisdom. There is no specific method. It can only be understood day and night. Understand the principles of nature, and understand the secrets of the Great Road. The monkey's eyes lit up. It was exactly what the master said. But why didn't the master teach him? That's it. Therefore, as long as you work hard, you will win one day. Bruce looked like he was following the instructions. The monkey kept nodding. Okay, you practice with me, Bruce said, and then he taught his skills to the monkey. Zhu Beiji, Sha Monk, stood there blankly, expressionless, like a sculpture. After a while, Zhu Beiji muttered, This world is really dark. Sha Monk touched the back of his head and said, Second brother, what are you talking about? We are not profiteers. Then why are you staring at the two of us with such lustful eyes? In a flash, another half-month passed. Today, squeak, that shrill voice soared into the sky. Big brother, I've become a sperm. Chun, Xiaobei grinned and said, I also have a treasure. I am no longer the little monkey that I used to be. I'm going to catch this damn monk Tang Sung, grill him with fire, and then burn his body. Ashes, throw them into the cesspool. Bruce was basking in the sun on a branch. Every sentence he said made him roll his eyes. Monkey, you haven't realized that you have turned into a puddle of shit, have you? But he didn't say anything more and continued to bask in the sun. Sun was thinking in his mind whether he should find a way to get a magic weapon to play with. Just as he was thinking, a sound of breaking through the air sounded from the distance. A group of golden armored warriors galloped towards him. The leader shouted, Neza's rebel army is coming. Swish, swish, swish. For a moment, a dense crowd of sergeants, armed with long guns and bows and arrows, rushed toward the top of the mountain. Neza, Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. Bruce frowned slightly. Just now he was canonized as the Monkey King, and he made such a big fuss. This is not a good thing. Bruce's heart sank. Boom! Countless monsters came from all directions, covering the sky and the sun, and rushed towards the top of the mountain. For a time, the entire top of the mountain was covered with dense monsters, dense and dense, like the end of the world, very terrifying. Brother Monkey, Chen Xiaobei grinned. Run away, he shouted. Leave us alone. But the monkey showed no fear at all, and instead ran towards the bottom of the cliff. Master has said, we are one family. My master is the great sage. How could I, Mr. Yi, be afraid of death? Great sage. Boom! A powerful demonic energy spreads in all directions. Long live the great sage. The monkey roared, and all the hairs on his body exploded like steel needles. He waved his fist, and a terrible, evil energy burst out. Bang, 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 bang. This monkey itself is extremely powerful, and its cultivation, the eternal life art, increased his power to a terrifying level. In an instant, he was fighting with the demon army. Every move contained thunderous power. All over his body, bones and muscles were trembling violently, releasing a strange wave that spread around, freezing many monsters around him and making them unable to move. Boom! With one claw, it scratched the sky into pieces. A giant wolf that was more than 10 meters tall and covered in black instantly exploded into pieces. Blood and flesh flew everywhere, and limbs flew everywhere. "Kill!" he shouted. "Leave no one behind." A group of big demons roared, filled with murderous intent, and launched an attack on Tang Hao. Bang! The monkey roared loudly. Its eyes were red, like a burning flame. It was unparalleled in ferocity, and when it stepped out, the air trembled. The ground cracked, even more inch by inch. Bang! Under the palm of the hand, the waves surged like the top of Mount Tai, rolling up many waves and drowning everyone. Bang, bang, bang. Screams sounded out one after another. I don't know how many. The demon was knocked upside down and fell far away, making no sound. "Hiss!" Everyone gasped. Bruce shouted when he saw the monkey's head was as big as a fight and was killing everyone. The great sage is indeed worthy of his reputation. "Brother Monkey, stop!" Bruce shouted quickly. The monkey looked at Bruce puzzledly, and seeing his solemn expression, he didn't say anything more. "Senior, what's the matter?" Bruce nodded and said, "Those monsters are very weak, but they're still difficult to deal with ordinary people like us. If you kill too many, it may cause some chaos. What to do?" "Then the only option is to enter the city quietly, and be sure not to use any treasures to avoid being noticed." The monkey nodded vigorously. Bruce took the monkey and sneaked into the city quietly. Outside, demons were raging, but on top of the city, there was silence, as if he didn't realize it. Bruce yelled, "Idiot!" and shook his head repeatedly. Is Tang San hiding? Before he became a Buddha, he already had the courage to break into heaven, which was enough to prove his courage. However, he had always been puzzled as to why Tang Sanzang did not become a Buddha. "Okay, let's talk about it when we go out." Bruce and Monkey left together. They walked through several streets and headed east. A huge building suddenly appeared in front of everyone. This building gave people an extremely terrifying feeling. "Is this a hell? Haha, there are many prisoners imprisoned here." After saying that, he was about to go inside, etc. Chan Zhao stopped him. Bruce stopped in front of him. "Is it possible that you still plan to come in and rob?" The monkey's eyes almost bulged out. "Nonsense! How could my old grandson do such a dirty thing? I'm also a great saint after all. How could I do such a thing? If that's the case, I don't mind either." Bruce spread his hands and was about to leave. "Senior brother, wait a minute. Son, want to ask you for a favor." "Oh!" Regner was stunned. Bruce was stunned and looked at the monkey with some surprise. This monkey has a stubborn character and doesn't show any pretense to anyone. It only has a good impression of himself and Tang Sanzang. "Senior, old son, are looking for you to deal with someone for me. This guy is called Zhu Wuning. He robbed my peach orchard and made me punished by the Jade Emperor. I was almost knocked down from the Five Fingers Mountain by the Bodhisattva. I bother." The middle-aged man snorted coldly. "My old grandson has already believed in Buddhism. How could he steal his peaches? Besides, my old grandson has more than 3,000 peach orchards, any one of which is priceless, and he actually used it to give to a dog. Vegetable? Hateful." The monkey said angrily, "I will kill him myself. What do you call this pig brother?" "I remember his name is Sun Wuning." Hearing this, Li Te almost choked, coughed lightly, and said, "Okay, monkey, let's put this matter aside for now. Tell me, why do you do this?" The monkey snorted and said, "I just don't like that kid. He uses my peach orchard as fertilizer for watering and feeds my chickens with peaches. Damn it. My old grandson must teach him a lesson." "I see." Bruce cursed in his heart. This Sun Wuning is also a freak. After so many years, he has never seen so many people. In addition, there is the skeleton soldier. My old son heard that she colluded with the city lord to bully the people. I want to give her a deep impression. Okay, I get it, but Bruce frowned when he heard this. Each one of them has a ferocious appearance and murderous intent, and they're not a good thing at first glance. Bruce said seriously, "You two must think carefully. With the strength of two people, you have little chance of winning against the demon clan in the city. After all, both of you have reached the realm of Deluo Jinxian. so you should not act rashly. If you can't succeed, you'll be in trouble. Lao's son knows what to do. Senior brother, don't worry. What's more, there's a senior brother here. Bruce rolled his eyes at him. Where is that? Monkey ignored him, pulled him and said, let's go to the city defense army and settle accounts with them. Brother Monkey, did you see the wrong person? We are rushing to the city defense army station. Besides, if we want to seek justice, we must find Tang Monk. Yes, that's what I meant. The monkey scratched his ears and cheeks, wondering, but where is Tang Sanzang? I know. Regna nodded. A cold light flashed in Bruce's eyes, half smiling, but not smiling. Quickly find Tang Sung. This guy is a monk. A restaurant in the city is definitely his home. He and the monkey went directly to a restaurant in the city. After a cup of tea, the two finally arrived at a restaurant. As they were about to go up, they heard a loud noise. Look, Sanzang is here too. Huh, what a stupid guy, he's still waiting here. Haha, I think he was so frightened that he didn't even have the courage to come in. It's such a pity that we won't have the chance to enjoy it this time. Yes, she is not comparable to ordinary people. Huh, he was slightly stunned. Bruce narrowed his eyes and looked through a slit in the window. At this time, the street outside the restaurant was crowded with people, old and young, old and young. Everyone was looking at a plaque intently. On the plaque, there were 3 big characters, Tang Sanzang. Bruce's heart moved. Could it be that Tang Monk is here? At this moment, a burst of whispers came from. He was slightly startled. It seems like something happened. How about we go take a look? Don't worry about it. Such a big movement will definitely be exciting. Senior brother, is that Tang Monk here? Yes. Bruce nodded. He was also very curious about what kind of person this Tang Sanzang was. Walk. Soon, the two of them appeared at the entrance of the restaurant. When they walked to the door, Bruce looked surprised. What the fuck? Chen Xiaobei looked confused. He couldn't help but curse out. This scene was completely different for what he thought. He originally thought that this would be some abandoned temple, or maybe something barren mountains and wild ridges. However, the reality is so cruel. The restaurant lobby is packed with seats. The aroma of wine is overflowing, and beauties are singing and dancing. It's so lively. All kinds of delicacies, wines and delicacies are available. It's a happy scene. This Chen Xiaobei looked slightly startled. Bruce was confused. What was going on? At this time, the muscles on the monkey's face trembled, his eyes spit fire, and his fists clenched loudly, and he said angrily, "These bastards dare to play tricks on me." After saying that, she blocked the opponent with her kick. The maid in front of them kicked away and then climbed directly onto the steps. Ouch, ouch. A group of monsters fled in panic. Presumptuous. What a courage. Seeking death. He shouted. There was a lot of yelling and cursing. Bang. In an instant, dozens of people attacked the long-haired monster. Pretend to be a ghost. The monkey head snorted coldly, shook his arms, and a golden light erupted from his body, turning into a golden light curtain, directly defeating all attacks. Then, he rose into the air, clasped his hands, and suddenly moved forward. Push! A shrill scream sounded. A shrill scream echoed in the restaurant. He was beaten until he vomited blood and fell down the stairs. What a fierce monkey! Run! He shouted, turned around and ran away. Run! He shouted, turned around and ran away. Help! A shrill scream rang out. The crowd dispersed in a hurry. Monkey! Yi Zichen opened his mouth and said, "That's all. Let's find Tang Sanzang." Okay, I will let you live today. The monkey glared at the people around him, and then asked Yi, "Senior, what should we do next?" Bruce thought for a moment and said, "Tang Sanzang is in the garrison. Let's go there." At this time, an armored general was sitting on a Grand Master's chair, looking at the group of people in front of him, and asked in a deep voice, "This operation will pay a lot of money. Are you willing to participate?" Everyone nodded. Very good. Remember, you're all soldiers of Xinyo Hezhou. You have to protect the safety of the city defense army. If you're caught by me, don't blame me for turning against you. Understood. Regner nodded. Several people immediately retreated. Call. Lin Yun let out a long breath. The general wiped his hands with cold sweat and felt determined. Hey, I hope they don't live up to my expectations. And at this moment, in a secluded place, a ragged little beggar was sitting there, holding a piece of bun in his hand, eating it with big mouthfuls, as if he didn't care about what was going on around him. It has filled its belly, and it has filled its belly. It used its oily little hands to fumble for something in its arms. It was a crystal bracelet as beautiful as a pearl. That bracelet was a gift from Tang Monk back then. Although he ate most of them as candies, he was still reluctant to part with the rest. Ba Monk, take this money and buy me some candies. Don't forget your kindness to me in raising me. Practice well and avenge me. Tang Monk's voice of great compassion echoed in everyone's ears. Tang Sanzang, I remember it. He clenched his fists and gritted his teeth. When I become the disciple of Buddha, I will definitely seek justice for you. Ha ha! A gloomy voice suddenly came. Tang Monk. Oh, a voice came from behind. The little monk was startled and looked up and saw a young man in black clothes slowly jumping down from the roof. His features were handsome and his eyes were as deep as the stars. It's you. He looked at the scene in front of him with shock in his eyes. How will you be here? Stop being so pretentious. You look really unsightly. The monkey squinted his eyes and smiled. Why do I think you are so familiar? Why does it look so familiar? He chuckled. The poor monk is a disciple of Tang Sanzang, named Wuhua. No wonder it's you. The monkey understood. This guy is the old monk who stole one of his sticks. What's wrong? The little monk had no expression on his face and was not afraid at all. Do you want to fight me? Oh, fight. Just you. His words were full of contempt. Snort. The man snorted coldly. The young monk said with a cold face, My master once told me that people like you are the most hateful. I have always been annoyed by you. Boom. Not finished yet. Get out of here. He shouted. The monkey roared and grabbed the monk's neck with one hand. Snap. The sound of broken bones was heard. The young monk's face was covered with pain, and his throat was rolling, as if he opened his mouth to plead for mercy. But in the end, he couldn't say anything and lowered his head feebly. Cut. Rubbish. The monkey looked at him disdainfully and walked away. However, just when he was about to arrive at the courtyard, he stopped and looked back. Senior brother. Duan Lingtian looked at the scene in front of him. A look of worry flashed in his eyes. There will always be some people in this world who shouldn't exist. That night, Bruce and Monkey walked down the street. Bruce looked around and said, Brother Monkey, it is said that this world is so big that there are all kinds of wonders. Real or fake? Why didn't I see it? The monkey shook his head. We still found Tang Sanzang, and we don't care about anything else. He narrowed his eyes and looked at a building in the distance. In that direction, there was a faint and powerful energy wave. Well, okay. He nodded. Li Tong nodded, and the two of them took a step forward together. After a while, they stopped in front of a mansion. In the mansion, the lights were bright. Outside the door there are two figures. One is Tang Monk, and the other is Zhu Beiji. Master! Fang Zheng shouted. The monkey waved his hand and was very excited. Tang Monk saw it and said with a smile, Wukong, you are back. Please come in. I have prepared dinner for you. Thank you, Master. The monkey smiled and stepped in. Haha, Tang-sung, hello. At this moment, a burst of laughter came, and a group of 5 or 6 figures appeared, surrounding them. Who is coming? Tang-sung frowned and stared at the 3 guys. Tang Monk, he murmured to himself, with a hint of crying in his voice. The leading man grinned. Why, you don't even know who I am. Who are you? His eyes fell on the man. Tang-sung glared at him and asked, Are you Yito? That's right. My name is Bruce, Lao's son. Yes or no? Tang Sanzang, what do you mean? It's you. He looked at the scene in front of him with shock in his eyes. Tang Sang's expression immediately became very ugly. He had long seen that Bruce had some opinions about him, but he didn't expect that he would follow him to the secular world. Humph! Regner looked proud. Bruce snorted coldly. Tang Sanzang, Lao's son came here this time because he was ordered by the Jade Emperor to take your life. Want to kill me? Tang Monk was startled, and a wry smile suddenly appeared on his face. I thought that going to the West to learn Buddhist scriptures this time was a blessing, but I didn't expect it to be a disaster. He looked around, tears welling up in his eyes. Zhu Beiji and Sha Sung next to him also had angry faces. They had suffered a lot in the past few days and finally got out of the predicament. But who would have thought that they would encounter this big man? Devil. This guy is ruthless and has no moral bottom line at all. Tang Sanzang, just be content. Hoer smiled conspiratorially. Otherwise, you will never have the chance to reincarnate again. Humph! The man shouted coldly. At this moment, Zhu Beiji on the side shouted angrily, "Bye. I'm telling you, one day I'm going to beat you to pieces." Is that so? Bruce's pupils shrank. Zhu Beiji, shut up. Tang Monk suddenly panicked, quickly pulled him back, and then clasped his fists at Brucerin. Little monk, I have a favor to ask. Can you help me kill this beast? Master, this disciple is willing to live and die with you. Zhu Beiji howled. It doesn't have to be like this. Tang, Monk sighed. After all, they're sent by Tathagata of the West. We can't defeat them, but you don't have to worry. Even if I exhaust all my strength, I will never surrender. Tang Sung, you are really tough-tongued. At this time, the monkey smiled coldly. If you are stubborn, you will definitely die. Whoosh! After saying that, the monkey suddenly jumped up, its right hand became a blade, and it slashed at Tang Monk. Tang Sung bent his knees and rolled on the spot, dodging the blow. Boom! Tang Sung missed his attack and was kicked hard on his back by one leg, sending him flying several feet. Laugh! Tang Sung coughed up blood and struggled to stand up. Yeah. The monkey's eyes shone. I didn't expect you, Tang Sanzang, to have such strength. It's a pity, but with your strength, do you still want to defeat me, my grandson? As soon as he finished speaking, he had already rushed forward. Boom! Tang Sung raised his hand to block, but was hit on the shoulder by Monkey King's stick. Bang! Tang Sang's face turned pale, and he knelt down on one knee. Yu Chen Xiaobei looked stunned. Tang Sung has all his abilities, but he just doesn't know how to advance or retreat. How long can he persist? Tang Sung was furious. His whole body was trembling, and he was about to lose his strength when he suddenly heard a loud roar. Bruce, what did you say? You dare to hurt my master. Watch your moves. Bruce knocked Tang Sung away with a palm, and then Zhu Beiji was caught off guard. The obese man hit Bruce with a heavy weight, bending Bruce's legs and almost falling to his knees. He was filled with anger. Whizzing, he held the Rui iron rod in one hand, pinched magic formulas in the other hand, and muttered words in his mouth. His whole body turned into a golden light, shrouding Zhu Beiji. It turned out to be one of Sun Wukong's 72 transformations, the palm of the Tathagata. However, Zhu Beiji was already on guard and blocked the blow with a 9-tooth rake. The two fought inextricably. The man shouted coldly. At this moment, the monkey jumped into the air and rushed towards Tang Sung again. Yang Qi whipped out the whip in his hand. Boom! Tang Sung blocked his chest with his arm, but he was still beaten backwards and hit the wall, leaving a clear mark of the whip. Master! Fang Zhengzheng shouted. Zhu Beiji was startled. Tang Monk got up with difficulty, sweating profusely. Oh, this treasure of yours is really magical. But today, you will definitely die. I have two choices. The first choice is to surrender to my grandson and serve as his mount. The second option is to die. Whoosh! As soon as he finished speaking, he raised the mace in his hand and smashed it down hard. Master! Zhu Beiji shouted anxiously. Even though he had mastered the great shift of the universe, and his movement skills were astonishing, there was still a big gap between him and Bruce. In addition, Taiguai Li kept staring at him, so he did not dare to step forward to save people rashly. I'm about very good. But at this moment, a Buddha chant sounded. The next moment, the space shook, countless rays of Buddha light condensed, turned into a lotus blooming, and a big hand stretched out and firmly grasped the stick. Sun Wukong, stop it! With a word full of compassion, a monk rose from the lotus seat. Sakyamuni Buddha. The monkey narrowed his eyes and put away the Rui iron rod in his hand. So it's you who came here in person. Haha, I am weak in the Western world today, so I came here specifically to deal with this disaster. Tang Sung felt relieved. Tang Sung, what do you mean? Stop pretending. The monkey bared his teeth and said, my grandson is also a descendant of Buddhism and a symbol of the Western world. If you convert to Buddhism, wouldn't it violate my Buddhist teachings? Kill without mercy. Tang monk, Ba, brother Wukong, why are you so angry? At this moment, Tai Guili took a step forward and said, this Tang Sanzang was canonized by the Queen Mother himself. How can he be regarded as a traitor? Since you insist on putting me to death, I won't be polite. Ha. Hearing Duan Lingtian's words, Duan Lingtian suddenly laughed. Upon hearing these words, the monkey suddenly roared, and the sound waves spread in all directions. What happened? Everyone was stunned. The monk shouted loudly. This monk was sent by Shitian Bodhisattva. What does it have to do with us? Bang! At this moment, black clouds suddenly rolled in from the sky, and a golden bridge hung from the sky from east to west. A group of fairies came stepping on the golden bridge, guarding a gorgeous car. Sedan. Sitting on the sedan was a woman with a faint golden light all over her body. Queen Mother. Chen Xiaobei raised his eyebrows and asked. Bruce's eyes narrowed. What is she here for? Hee. Brother Wukong, have you forgotten that you promised me that you would help me make a great contribution in the Western world? Let me be promoted to the rank of Prime Minister and enjoy the blessings of heaven. Tai Guili said with a smile. Regner was stunned. Bruce's face darkened. Did you lie to me at the beginning? No. Tai Guili waved his hand. At the beginning, Lao Sun just wanted you to lure the monster out and did not ask you to actually kill him. Therefore, I did not do anything wrong, but instead helped you to understand and achieve the Tao. Okay. He nodded. Bruce's eyes lit up. So, you want to use me to kill this Tang Sanzang? Supreme Taoist friend, please stop joking. The Western heaven is our paradise. How can we tolerate such evil people? Tai Guili shook his head with sympathy. Besides, Tang Sung and you are masters and disciples. If you really do this, you will violate the laws of heaven and die without a burial place. You'd better wake up soon. Haha, do you think I'm a god? After I kill Tang Sanzang and then these monsters, I will deal with you. Brother Wukong, don't be impulsive. Tang Sung was startled and blurted out. If you do this, you'll be struck by lightning.
Hello, everyone. As we wrap up this video, I want to share a quick note. I have a Patreon account. If you'd like to support me and enjoy on-demand audiobooks, you can become a Patreon member. Alternatively, you can check out my Google Drive link, which has 500+ novel audiobooks available through my Ko-fi or Patreon shop. I appreciate your support.